Infinity Manhwa here. What's up, everyone? Meet our boy, Yin Qingxiu. In his past life, he was known as the top dog of the cultivation world, a total badass who answered to no one. All he had to do was pass the heavenly tribulation to become a god king, ruling over all the other peons. But when our boy woke up after his tribulation, he found himself in a whole world of trouble. He'd been mistaken for some kind of pervert by a few hotties. One of them even wanted to chop off his little bird and take it home as a souvenir. The thought of his little bird getting the snip scared him half to death. To protect the family jewels, our boy bolted without a second glance. But the ladies chased him down with their flying swords, cornering him. Just then, a flood dragon burst from the water and attacked everyone. The young women were completely outmatched. Before long, they were all injured. Yin Qingxiu stood there watching in nothing but his shorts. He casually threw a single punch, easily blowing the flood dragon's head to bits. It was so powerful it sent the beast straight to the afterlife. Only Qingxiu and a badly injured, unconscious blonde girl were left. He immediately channeled his spiritual energy to heal her. Looking at the stunning beauty before him, Qingxiu was reminded of the old saying, "Save a damsel, and you shall be rewarded." But if word of this got out, his reputation as a great cultivator would be toast. He was afraid he'd be labeled a creep and have rotten eggs thrown at him in the streets. So, Yin Qingxiu stole her clothes and left her passed out in the middle of the forest. Tough choices, am I right, fellas? Damn, what a waste. After running for several hundred miles, completely exhausted, Qingxiu finally dared to stop and rest. Catching his reflection in the water, he was shocked to discover, what the hell? His soul had possessed the body of a teenager with the same name. Before long, his childhood friend showed up. Ling Xiaoya called him to come eat. But when she saw Qingxiu just staring blankly and not responding, she got angry. She bonked him on the head and dragged him away. He still hadn't figured out whose life he'd taken over. His mind was a complete mess. Soon, they arrived at a small house on the mountain. Looking around, Qingxiu's memories began to merge with those of the body's original owner. Turns out, this was where he and Ling Xiaoya had grown up together. He found it hard to understand. He'd clearly passed his tribulation, so why didn't he ascend to godhood? Well, at least he got a young body out of the deal. And a full head of hair. Not a bad trait, huh? He was busy patting himself on the back when Xiaoya brought out a tray of food, startling him. Our boy had no choice but to play dumb and look away. Xiaoya just sighed, too fed up to say anything. Xiaoya told him they had to do their best to get into the outer sect of the Qianyuan Sword Valley this time. Rumor was you get 50 low-grade spirit stones every month. Qingxiu listened as he ate. After a few bites, he realized her cooking wasn't half bad. Seeing this, Xiaoya picked up some more food for him. She told him to eat up. While they were eating, Qingxiu noticed a grain of rice on her cheek. He gently plucked it off, and without thinking, popped it into his mouth. Xiaoya's face immediately turned beet red. The next morning, at the crack of dawn, Xiaoya was already dragging Qingxiu out of the house. They had to get to the Qianyuan Sword Valley for the entrance exam. If they passed, they could officially start on the path of cultivation. Qingxiu broke out in a sweat. I spent 10,000 years mastering the path to immortality. I can't believe it. Do I really have to start all over again? It's like beating the final boss just to get thrown back to level 1. With that in mind, he said to Xiaoya, "Why don't we just live a normal life? The man tills the fields. The woman weaves the cloth. Wouldn't that be a peaceful way to live?" But Xiaoya immediately shot him down. She placed a hand on his forehead and said, "All worldly things are merely an illusion. Only cultivation is the true path," without letting Qingxiu say another word. She grabbed his hand and urged him to hurry. "We'll be late for the exam if we don't go now." At the tournament grounds of the Qianyuan Sword Valley, a huge crowd of candidates had gathered, creating a bustling scene. Suddenly, a young woman with fair, slender legs appeared. Yunyun was holding a stack of manuals. She raised her hand and said timidly, "Everyone, please follow me over to the formation array." The moment the male disciples saw her, they started cheering. "Senior sister is so cute. I could stay here forever. She's like a real-life fairy." But Qingxiu just smiled calmly and stroked his chin. His expression was completely unfazed. Xiaoya glanced at him and smirked. "Wow, I'm surprised you're so calm. I figured beauty like her would have you head over heels already." Qingxiu replied, "Why am I getting worked up like these clueless kids? They don't have a clue what's really important." Hearing this, an annoyed Xiaoya bonked him on the head, scolding, That's what you get for talking nonsense. The official assessment began. Everyone made their way to the registration area. Yun asked Xiaoya, "Your name, please?" "I'm Ling Xiaoya." "Please record it, senior sister." As she was writing down the name, Xiaoya accidentally glanced at Yun's chest and immediately blushed in embarrassment. Then, Yun turned to Qingxiu. "And you? What's your name?" Recognizing his familiar face, she brought her brush to her lips in thought, her gaze drifting upwards. A moment later, it hit her. She gasped in horror. "It's him, the creep who spied on us while we were bathing." In a panic, Yun threw down the registry book and rushed off, shouting, "Please wait a moment. I'll be right back." She immediately grabbed Yuanji and pulled her along, an embarrassed look on her face. While a bewildered Yuanji asked, "What is it? Why are you dragging me away?" "Senior sister, look, that boy over there." Hearing this, Yuanji glanced over cautiously. Qingxiu stood in a crowd of young men, all mesmerized by the beauty of Yuanji. He thought to himself, "She's looking at me. I'm so happy. My heart is fluttering." Yuanji paid no mind to the others, walking straight up to him. "Junior brother, what's your name?" "Yun Qingxiu." Hearing his name, she clenched her fist in determination. "Junior brother Qingxiu, do your best. Even if you lack talent, you might still be able to stay on. Who knows? You might find another opportunity here." Qingxiu nodded gratefully. With that, she turned and walked away, her eyes turning cold and sharp. She thought to herself, "First, we'll make sure he stays. Then, my junior sister and I will settle the score." Qingxiu's expression darkened, but he betrayed no emotion. "So I ran into these two again. Why aren't they furious? Why are they encouraging me instead? How strange." An irritated Xiaoya pinched his nose. "Do you know them?" Qingxiu replied, "No, never met them before." She was annoyed. "Then why were they staring at you? Don't tell me they were captivated by your good looks?" Qingxiu pried her hand off his nose and said nonchalantly, "Obviously." She huffed, puffing out her cheeks. Then she suddenly grabbed Qingxiu's chest, squeezing so hard it brought tears to his eyes. "You shameless jerk." Soon after, a confident Yuanji stepped into the formation. Xiaoya glanced at Qingxiu, her expression tense, and said, "The assessment is starting. Let's go watch." A female disciple stepped into the formation. Spiritual energy flared up around her. A brilliant red flame appeared above Wang Ruo's head. "Fire, spiritual root. Qualified. You pass." Next 10. A male disciple stepped forward, but he failed to summon any spiritual energy. "Unfortunately, you do not qualify." Hearing this, the disciple's face fell, storms off in a huff. Next, another person fails the test. Down in the crowd, Xiaoya watches nervously. Looks like 2 out of every 10 are failing. So many people are failing. Meanwhile, Qingxiu is completely at ease. Even lets out a big yawn, totally unconcerned. The spiritual energy at the foot of the mountain is weak. A lot of people can't even awaken their spirit, so the chances that I'll fail are pretty high. He gently pats Xiaoya's head, reassuring her, "You'll pass for sure." She asks, "Really? What makes you so sure?" They say a person's aptitude is tied to their spirit root, and those with superior talent are often blessed with stunning beauty. Who knows? You might just become the #1 goddess in the entire cultivation world. Hearing this, Xiaoya crosses her arms and turns away, her tone reproachful. "You're just talking nonsense. But if I really do become what you say I will, I'll keep you by my side, and no one will be allowed to touch you but me." Qingxiu smiles in reply. "I'll hold you to that. But that's a long way off. How about granting me a small favor in advance?" Hearing that, she turns back and glares at him. "Get real. I wash your clothes and cook for you every single day. Isn't that enough for you? What more do you want? For me to warm your bed too? No, not that. If you become a top-tier disciple, just sing me a song. That'll be enough." Xiaoya immediately holds out her pinky finger. She says innocently, "Deal. Pinky promise." As they link pinkies, Yun's voice rings out from a distance. "Next, Ling Xiaoya." "That's my turn." Ling Xiaoya steps forward nimbly. She's full of vibrant energy. She flashes a bright smile. "Make sure you cheer for me, okay?" Her talent has always been exceptional. She's about to blow everyone away. As she steps into the formation, A brilliant light erupts. Spiritual energy surges violently. Not only does a golden light appear, but two other auras flare to life. It signifies the presence of three spirit roots at once. Witnessing this, the sect master's expression changes drastically. His eyes go wide. He cries out in disbelief. A triple spirit root. The surrounding elders are also overcome with excitement. I can't believe it. Someone with a triple spirit root has actually appeared. A truly rare prodigy. After the spiritual light recedes, Ling Xiaoya slowly opens her eyes. She finds herself standing before a row of stern-faced elders. She hurriedly clasps her hands and bows. This disciple greets the sect master and all the honored seniors. The sect master waves his hand. There is no need for formalities. What is your name? She seems a bit timid now. She answers in a quiet voice. This disciple's name is Ling Xiaoya. The sect master strokes his beard, a brilliant smile on his face. Such a promising talent. A truly superior aptitude. Ling Xiaoya, you will return to the sect with me. Hearing this, her eyes light up with joy, but then a hint of sadness crosses her face. She turns her head to look toward Qing Xiao. Sect master, please, could we wait for my friend to finish his test? I will make my decision after that. The sect master nods happily. Very well. We shall wait a while longer. Yin Yin raises her voice. Next, Yin Qing Xiao. The young man steps out, arms crossed. His gaze is deep and unreadable. Xiaoya watches, her heart pounding. A cold sweat breaks out on her skin. Back then, he failed to cultivate it all. Is there any chance he'll be accepted? As Tan Thursday stepped forward, the formation remained quiet. No spiritual root appeared. The old sect master let out a soft sigh, shaking his head. Your friend doesn't have the aptitude for cultivation. Xiaoya lowered her head, her voice filled with sadness. Immortal master, this disciple has a request. Hearing this, the sect master understood immediately. He advised, you are planning to bring him up the mountain? You should give up that idea. You still have a long life ahead of you. But he is just an old man. His words weighed heavily on Xiaoya's heart. She thought, I've been the one taking care of him. If I leave, will he even be able to survive? Her gaze on Tan Thursday was filled with compassion. She resolved, maybe I should give up on the path of cultivation and stay with him for the rest of his life. Finally, she closed her eyes. She began to speak. Immortal master. Suddenly, a violent tremor erupted right before their eyes. It left both the sect master and Xiaoya stunned. Tan Thursday stood within the formation, his eyes fixed on his hand, a thoughtful expression on his face. He unconsciously raised a hand to scratch his head. He thought, this low-level formation can't possibly measure my spiritual root. I guess I'll have to release a little bit of spiritual power myself. Tan Thursday mused to himself. If I reveal too much, it'll cause a huge commotion. Just showing a fraction of it should be enough. Yes, just a little. With that thought, he closed his eyes. A violent surge of spiritual power erupted. It was so powerful, he had to struggle to hold it back. Spiritual energy spread everywhere, kicking up leaves that swirled into the sky. So he watched intently, a faint smile playing on her lips. Overflowing spiritual energy and powerful fluctuations. Tan Thursday's talent actually surpasses even mine. The two sisters, Wan Ji and Yun Yun, were stunned. They whispered, his power is this strong, but his spiritual root still hasn't appeared? Could it be a mutated spiritual root? The old sect master watched from a distance, a bead of sweat dripping down his face. His heart was singing with joy. I found a treasure. This is the kind of foundation that only the great sect would dare to fight over. Visions of four peerless disciples shaking the world appeared in his mind, bringing endless glory to his sect. He thought gleefully, this sect is about to rise to greatness. Tan Thursday slowly opened his eyes. He glanced around, a sly smirk on his face. If I'm up on a show, I might as well add a few more flourishes. With that, he stomped his foot down hard. Instantly, a frigid aura erupted. The ground transformed into a mountain of ice covered in chilling spikes. A frosty breath swirled around his body. Tan Thursday spread his arms, a satisfied smile on his face. Seeing this, the old sect master's expression darkened, his mouth agape in shock. So it's a mutated ice spiritual root. It wasn't just the sect master. The other two elders were also dumbfounded, staring in disbelief. It felt like they had just swallowed a fly. Who would have thought a dual mutated spiritual root would be considered useless? He quickly wiped the sweat from his brow, his eyes turning serious. He thought, mutated spiritual roots often cancel each other out. It's hard to unleash even a tenth of their potential power. Basically, someone with multiple mutated roots has an incredibly difficult time cultivating. What a pity. After a moment of consideration, the sect master glanced at the elder beside him and said, "This one's spiritual root is special. Hand him over to 4th Elder Quan Ji and see what he can make of him. Quan Ji is our strongest at the moment. Maybe we can find a way to break the seal." Qing Qiu stood to the side. Watching them debate, he broke into a cold sweat. He thought to himself, I was just trying to show off a little. How did this turn into such a big mess? After their discussion was over, all the elders and the sect master turned their gazes to Xiaoya. The sudden attention startled her. She scrambled over and clung tightly to Qing Qiu's arm. Her eyes were filled with fear. She faced the elders, her voice trembling. One of the elders stepped forward, a gentle smile on his face. "Ling Xiaoya, don't be afraid. From now on, I will take you in and teach you our sex techniques." But as soon as he finished speaking, another elder stroked his beard and interjected. "Sect Master Tang, your methods are too aggressive. Your spiritual foundation is completely incompatible with Ling Xiaoya's." He knew the elder had a point. Hearing this, the sect master angrily shouted, "Stop this nonsense. This is a matter for Ling Xiaoya to decide for herself." He bent down slightly, a kind smile on his face. "Xiaoya, I am the sect master of the Gui Yuan Sword sect. Are you willing to accept me as your master?" Just then, the elders behind him started clamoring all at once. "Don't worry, Xiaoya. He may be the sect master, but he's from a much younger generation than us." "That's right. He's still young. His understanding of the Tao can't possibly compare to ours." Hearing all of this, Xiaoya trembled even more. She clutched Qing Qiu's sleeve tightly. Her voice shaking, she said, "I want to stay with Qing Qiu. Wherever he goes, I'll go." Just then, Elder Konggu spoke up. "Yin Qing Qiu and Ling Xiaoya, you will both be taught by me. Furthermore, as the 4th elder, I take on very few disciples. And when I teach my students, like Jineng, for example, I prefer a hands-off approach." When Qing Qiu heard this, his eyes lit up. He thought excitedly, a hands-off approach? Plus, both of these junior martial sisters are disciples of the 4th elder. Konggu held his head high. His voice boomed. "My son is a master alchemist. Perhaps he can concoct a pill to help Yun Qing Qiu break the seal on his dual spiritual roots. Now isn't that an attractive offer?" Hearing this, Qing Qiu immediately clenched his fists. A brilliant smile spread across his face. He said, "It most certainly is." Konggu put his hands on his hips and asked again, "Then tell me your choice." Without a moment's hesitation, Qing Qiu replied, "I choose the 4th elder." Upon hearing this, Konggu froze completely, as if struck by lightning. He stood there for several seconds, his face as stiff as a stone statue. A while later, Wei was giving Xiaoya and Qing Qiu a tour of the sect. Pointing toward Yunqi Peak, he explained, "That's where the main hall and the sect master's residence are located. I hear the Grand Elder is in seclusion there, so no one is allowed to go near. And this is Qingyu Peak. It's where the 4th elder and the rest of us live. It's also the best area in the entire valley." As they walked, Xiaoya suddenly pointed to the sky. She exclaimed with delight, "Qing Qiu, look. So many beautiful spirit birds." Qing Qiu glanced up. He spit out the blade of grass he was chewing on. Then, with a hungry look in his eyes, he muttered, "They'd probably be delicious roasted." They continued on their way. Soon, they came across a small white rabbit. Xiaoya squealed with joy. "It's so cute." Without missing a beat, Qing Qiu commented, "Also probably delicious roasted." A little further on, they saw a mother duck leading her ducklings, looking for food. Xiaoya pointed. "Look, mother duck and her duckling." Qing Qiu remained oblivious. "They probably taste great roasted." Hearing this, Xiaoya's face flushed with anger. "I can't believe him. We're surrounded by women. And he just had to say something so ridiculous. Are the senior sisters going to hate him now?" She quickly shoved Qing Qiu's head down and timidly apologized. Senior sisters, he's a little dense. Wanji forced a smile. She raised a hand. It's fine. We just have to get used to our new junior brother. Actually, I think he has a point. They'd probably be delicious roasted. At that, Yin ran over to scheme with Qing Xiao. How about we go catch a few of them? Qing Xiao answered instantly. Yeah, I'm in. The moment the words left their mouths, Wanji and Xiaoya grabbed them and held them back. The two girls looked at each other and shared a small smile. Wanji said, Xiaoya, let's keep going. I'll show you two to your quarters. Xiaoya nodded. Yes, senior sister. Before long, Wanji led the group to a small courtyard. She opened the door and announced with a warm smile. From now on, you'll be staying here. Xiaoya set her luggage on the table. Smiling, she said to Wanji, Thank you, senior sister. We're sorry to have troubled you. Wanji smiled gently. We're all fellow disciples now. There's no need to be so formal. Besides, with two new talents on Qing Yu Peak, it'll lighten the load for me and Yun. Hearing this, Xiaoya clasped her hands together and replied bashfully, Senior sister, you're too kind. Then her eyes scanned the house. She wondered, where are all the other senior brothers and sisters? Are they all in seclusion? Yin and Wanji glanced at each other, beads of sweat forming on their brows. They didn't know how to answer. Seeing their reaction, Xiaoya grew suspicious. Don't tell me, we're the only people in this entire valley? The two of them quickly shot back. Of course not. There are plenty of others. That's right. Besides us and Master, there's you and Qing Xiao. That's 5 people in total. You can hardly call that a small number. Yin walked over, placed a hand on Xiaoya's shoulder, and offered a reassuring smile. There might not be many of us, but we get a monthly allowance of foundation pills from Master. Wanji stepped forward and handed Xiaoya a scroll. This is the cultivation technique Master prepared for you. Look it over and begin your training. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me or one of the others. With that, she walked to the door. Waving with a smile, she said, It's getting late. You two should get some rest. Yin and I live right next door. If you need anything, just come find us. Suddenly, Xiaoya grabbed Wanji's sleeve. Her cheeks were bright red. As she stammered, Actually, senior sister, I want to share a room with Qing Xiao. Hearing this, Wanji's face turned beet red. This is, well, Before she could finish, Qing Xiao raised his hand. Beaming, he said, Awesome. Now I'll have someone to go with me on bathroom runs at night. Xiaoya instantly lunged at him. A fist slams into Qing Xiao's chest. Serves you right for running your mouth. Wanji watches, stunned. Aren't you two cultivation partners? What's wrong with sharing a room? Hearing this, Xiaoya crosses her arms and looks down, flustered. No way. How could I ever be partners with this idiot? Oh, I see. Well then, Xiaoya, why don't you stay with us? Qing Xiao was left crying alone in the empty room. He wails, Don't leave me all alone. Before leaving, Xiaoya glances back, sticking her tongue out at Qing Xiao. The next morning, Wei Qi and Yun are seated together on the cultivation platform. The peaceful atmosphere is soon broken by the sound of light footsteps. Xianji closes his eyes for a moment, sensing their approach. Then he turns with a gentle smile. Junior sister, junior brother, you're here early. Xiaoya hears him and replies with a laugh. I made a promise to senior sister. How could I possibly be late? Wanji stands holding a cultivation manual. Her eyes sweep over the new disciples. Her voice is steady and calm. It seems everyone is here. Before I impart the cultivation method, I will give a brief introduction. The cultivation realms, from lowest to highest, are Qi refining, foundation establishment, core formation, spirit severing, golden core, nascent soul, void amalgamation, tribulation transcendence, and spirit transformation. Reaching the golden core stage is enough to be considered a powerful expert in your own right. Yin hears this and throws her hands wide, a look of utter excitement on her face. Sect Master Kong, Yin, is a great golden core cultivator. He's so majestic and powerful. Qing Xiao, who is at the spirit transformation realm, just scoffs internally. Just a mediocre golden core. Wanji places a hand on her chest. Her gaze softens as she looks around at them. In our master's absence, I will be the one to teach you the cultivation method. So please, take this seriously. Let's all strive to improve together. She turns her attention to Xiaoya. Her voice is slow and deliberate. Chi refining is the very first stage. You must learn to understand and adapt to the flow of spiritual energy within your body. After listening, Xiaoya immediately sits down. She closes her eyes and enters a meditative state. Spiritual energy slowly begins to gather around her. It makes her feel a sense of ease. Yun can't help but gasp in amazement. Xiaoya's talent is incredible. Senior sister Wan Ji just explained it, and she's already entered meditation. That's amazing. The spiritual energy is gathering around her. At this rate, it won't be long before she absorbs it. A moment later, Xiaoya opens her eyes. Sweat beads on her cheeks. She says, panting slightly, but the spiritual energy is so stubborn. Every time I'm about to pull it in, it just slips away. It took me a full half day just to calm my mind when I first started. Xiaoya looks up. Her eyes shine with hope. Really? Then, does that mean I'm qualified? Wan Ji smiles warmly. More than qualified. Your talent is rare, even in our sect. Qing Qiu sits to the side, watching them with a pang of sadness. I wish someone would be that gentle with me, too. Xiaoya and Wan Ji embrace, beaming with joy. Yun, however, is left forgotten in a corner. Her eyes well up with sadness. Xiaoya is so brilliant. I bet she'll be the one protecting us in the future. Yun stares wide-eyed at her own hands. She sighs. It took me 10 days just to enter meditation. I'm afraid Master won't have any use for me. Wan Ji comforts her in a soft voice. Everyone has their own strengths. Your physique is unmatched by almost anyone in the entire sect. Both Xiaoya and I admire you for it. Hearing this, Yun lowers her head. Blushing, she tears up. Is that so? But I think they're a hassle. It's so hard to find a bodice that even fits. Yuan Ji was at a loss for words. So she turned to Tan Thursday. Junior brother, how's your studying coming along? Are you running into any trouble? Just as she finished speaking, Xiaoya appeared from behind them. Her face was scrunched into a frown. You weren't paying attention at all. Why are you skipping to the end? What's so difficult about a basic cultivation technique? Tan Thursday replied nonchalantly. I was bored, so I was just flipping through it. Yuan Ji stepped forward, gently advising him. Junior brother, the fundamentals are incredibly important. I once rushed my chi manipulation without a proper technique, and I nearly crippled myself. A god transformation master like me is being suspected of not being able to handle a basic technique? How ridiculous. Hearing this, Tan Thursday looked up. He brushed his hair back and said with confidence, I only revealed the tiniest of openings. Before he could finish, Xiaoya pinched his nose. She growled, Openings? What openings? Don't get cocky in front of your senior sisters. Now get to cultivating. Tan Thursday yelped. All right. Let go. I have a pimple in there. It hurts. Xiaoya crossed her arms. She looked down at him, her expression stern. Now, Tan Thursday clutched his nose, whimpering pitifully. It was a cute, but not very happy sight. A moment later, Tan Thursday glanced around and thought to himself, I really don't get it. Cultivation is as simple as drinking water. Why does everyone make such a fuss about it? With that thought, he hopped onto the platform. He sat down and began to circulate his chi. Instantly, spiritual energy began to swirl around his body. Yun watched in wide-eyed astonishment. Senior sister, our little junior brother. He really is. Even Yuan Ji was shocked. His level of comprehension is extraordinary. Let's see how long it takes him to enter a meditative state. It took Xiaoya a full 15 minutes to do it. The girls watched on Thursday, holding their breath. An hour went by. Did he fall asleep? Suddenly, Yuan Ji realized something. Her face grew serious. Sweat beaded on her brow. No, he's in a true, deep state of meditation. You can tell from his breathing. It's almost unheard of for a novice to maintain it for this long. A sudden surge of spiritual energy rippled through the air, startling the girls. Looking closer, they saw it. He was actually absorbing the ambient chi. He really is. Just then, torrents of spiritual energy from all around began to pour into his body. This level of chi gathering, it's on par with masters. I've never heard of anyone absorbing chi on their first time practicing a beginner technique. Talent like this it's enough to make a person jealous. But while the other two were stunned with awe, Xiaoyu was filled with worry. Tang Tu, I hope he isn't in any danger. A short while later, Tan Thursday's eyes fluttered open. He turned to Yuan Ji and Yun Yun and asked softly, "Is something wrong?" The two just smiled and shook their heads. Tan Thursday immediately pulled out a small golden mirror to look at himself. He thought, "Don't tell me I got even more handsome." Yuan Ji walked over. She put a hand on his shoulder and asked gently, "Junior brother, have you ever cultivated before?" "Never." Xiaoya watched them with a worried frown. She asked anxiously, "Senior sister, when the world happened to Qingxiu? I once heard about a cultivator who ran into trouble. He's going to be okay, right?" Yuan Ji just lowered her head. Beads of sweat formed on her brow. She explained, "Our junior brother is a once-in-a-generation talent. On his very first attempt at meditation, he managed to absorb spiritual energy without any guidance." Hearing this, Xiaoya's eyes went wide. She was utterly shocked. He really absorbed spiritual energy? With that, Xiaoya ran over and grabbed Qingxiu's hand. "You little brat. How did you do it? You really want to know?" Yun Yun and Wan Ji chimed in. "We want to know, too. Come closer. I'll whisper to you." Xiaoya looked at Qingxiu with eyes full of anticipation. "Hurry up and tell us." All right. Qingxiu flashed a sly grin. "The secret is..." He pointed a finger at his own face. A confident smirk played on his lips. "Raw, natural talent. Effortless. That's all." Hearing this, the girls furiously clenched their fists. "Yin, Qingxiu, you got a lot of nerve." "Hey, not the face. Don't hit the face." Just as Xiaoya's fist was about to land, Qingxiu clutched his head and wailed dramatically. "Help! A poor, innocent man is being bullied. You can scream yourself hoarse, and no one will come to save you." The next day passed in a flash. Qingxiu made his way to Xiaoya's room. He stretched lazily, his eyes still closed, wondering what delicious meal she would cook for him today. But as he opened his eyes, he saw a note taped to the door. "In cultivation, do not disturb." Qingxiu stood there, holding his empty bowl and chopsticks, a dazed look on his face. "It's been 3 days. Xiaoya has been completely focused on cultivating. She hasn't paid any attention to me at all. I feel so neglected." He slumped to the ground in front of her door. His stomach rumbled loudly. "It's been so long since I've had a decent meal. This is just cruel." With that thought, Qingxiu shot to his feet. He gripped his chopsticks tightly and shouted, "This can't go on. For the sake of my own happiness, I have to take matters into my own hands." In another room, the table was piled high with empty plates and bowls. Yun Yun sat beside him, sweating as she watched Qingxiu devour everything in sight. "Little Qingxiu, you got a serious appetite. I'm a man. It's normal for me to eat a lot." Yuan Ji watched as Qingxiu practically inhaled a whole bowl of rice. All she could do was sigh. Is he the legendary, sentient food barrel of the Qing sect? Qingxiu slammed his empty bowl down on the table. He raised his arms high. "Ah, that was a great meal. I'm stuffed. Now I can finally get to cultivating." Suddenly, Wan Ji's expression darkened. She was fuming inside. "Oh yeah? We still haven't settled the score for that little stunt you pulled." Qingxiu linked his hands behind his head. He casually strolled towards the door. "Well, I've eaten my fill. Time to go have some fun, and maybe get a little revenge of my own." Just as he was leaving, Wan Ji called out to him, "Junior brother, stop right there." She sat majestically on her chair, her posture alluring. She gave him a look loaded with meaning. "Get over here." Hearing her call, Qingxiu obediently sat down beside Wan Ji. "Senior sister, is something wrong?" He stuck a peek at her fair, delicate legs. His face flushed as he thought to himself, "So beautiful. Such a slender curve. So long and delicate. Hey, isn't it beautiful?" Qingxiu quickly scratched his head. He forced a smile and answered, "It's beautiful." But when he saw Wan Ji's furious expression, he quickly played dumb. He pointed at the carpet. Sweating profusely, he stammered, "I was just admiring how pristine white this carpet is." "Oh no, I meant this vase is really long." Wan Ji crossed her arms. Her sharp gaze was fixed on Qingxiu. "Was it you who was peeking at us bathing that day?" Qingxiu feigned outrage. "What? Who would dare spy on you, senior sister? Tell me who it was." "It wasn't you, was it?" He waved his hands frantically as he spoke. He forced a laugh to hide his panic. No. I was looking straight at you. I wasn't peeking at all." Wan Ji decided to try a different tactic. She pulled her robe down to one side, striking a tempting pose that made Qingxiu's face flush red. He couldn't believe his eyes. Qingxiu couldn't take it. Blood spurted from his nose. He quickly clamped a hand over it. He muttered to himself, I really didn't mean to. Damn this nose. It almost gave me away. Wanji lunged forward. She grabbed Qin Xiu's ear. A cunning smile spread across her face. Oomph. Still staring, are we? So you like to play these games, huh? Qin Xiu's face turned pale from the painful ear twist. He cried out in his heart. Women are absolutely terrifying. With that thought, he immediately sat down, hugging Wanji's leg and begging. Senior sister, I was wrong. It wasn't on purpose. I don't even know how I ended up in that situation. Wanji gently closed her eyes. She managed a faint smile as she lightly patted Qin Xiu's head. I know, you must have gotten in the pool before us. If you'd come after, we would have definitely noticed you. I'm a late-stage foundation establishment cultivator, after all. Hearing this, Qin Xiu reluctantly gave her a thumbs up. So impressive. With that, he pointed toward the door. Since we've cleared up this misunderstanding, I'll be on my way. Senior sister. Wanji immediately blocked his path. Where do you think you're going? I haven't forgiven you yet. Whether it was on purpose or not, you still spied on us. A group of innocent young maidens was violated by you. That's no small crime. She crossed her arms. She looked down with a sigh. Well then, to atone for your sin, you will do some needlework for us. Qin Xiu was stunned. What? Needlework? Wanji stood up and walked toward a bookshelf. Follow me. As Qin Xiu looked up, Wanji bluntly assigned him his task. This is your responsibility now. Qin Xiu followed her pointing finger. He saw a table covered in white thread and an embroidery frame. The sight hit him like a bucket of cold water. His eyes went wide in horror. Wanji glanced over. She had a wicked smile on her face. She thought to herself, Yin Yin and I struggled with this embroidery for days. Let's see how our dear junior brother likes it. Huh. With that thought, she quickly ran to the door. She shouted, Yin Yin, junior brother is taking over the embroidery. We need to hurry to the library and get this work done. Qin Xiu cried out to the heavens. Ugh, who am I? Where am I? He held a needle in one hand and an embroidery hoop in the other, trying to form a four-petaled flower on the fabric. He stared intently at his work. He grumbled under his breath. Damn it all. My eyes are killing me. I can't take this anymore. He threw the embroidery hoop aside. I can't get it right. Then he picked up a new piece of white cloth. He stared at it and muttered to himself. This is harder than facing a demonic beast. He suddenly remembered what his senior sister had mentioned about the library archives. If I help out there, I can probably get out of sewing. With that thought, he bolted up and ran. As he ran, he shouted, There's no time to waste. I gotta go. Perfect. At that very moment, Xiaoyu was meditating on the cultivation platform. Calming her mind, she guided spiritual energy into her dantian. Once I complete this step, I'll officially begin my path as a cultivator. She thought to herself. Suddenly, a figure zipped past, and the gust of wind it created forced Xiaoyu's eyes open. Her spiritual energy dissipated. She leaped to her feet, clutching her head and shouting. Who was that? The person who had run past like the wind was none other than Qin Xiu. He dashed toward a large chamber and burst through the doors. Inside, Yun Yun and Yuan Ji were studying cultivation manuals. Senior sister, Qin Xiu called out. Yuan Ji sighed. Wiping the sweat from her brow, she asked, Little Xiu, what are you doing here? Qin Xiu glanced away. He scratched his cheek awkwardly. I came to help you too with your punishment. Yuan Ji dusted off her robes and asked, Having fun? Qin Xiu blurted out. Then he shook his head frantically. No, this looks awful. Yuan Ji crossed her arms, staring him down. Weren't you assigned embroidery? What are you doing here? Qin Xiu stammered. I can't sew, so I thought I'd help copy the manuals instead. Yuan Ji looked dejected. She pointed to a bookshelf. See this section? I see it. She rested a hand on the shelf, her voice grim. The Great Elder ordered us to copy all of this within half a month. That's half a shelf every single day. Qin Xiu raised a hand, offering a suggestion. Using spiritual energy to copy them would be much faster, right? Yin looked up. My spiritual energy isn't refined enough. I have to copy them one by one. Qin Xiu explained. I mean, we could use the wind-controlling art to guide the spiritual energy and copy them all at once. Yuan Ji was stunned. The wind-controlling art? That technique is incredibly difficult. It consumes a massive amount of spiritual energy. The most I ever managed was controlling 3 brushes at once. It's even harder for anyone else. Yuan Ji gazed at the mountain of manuals. A look of sadness crossed her face. Let's just get back to it. Otherwise, we'll miss dinner. Qing Xiu suddenly raised his hand. Actually, I know the wind-controlling art. The 2 girls stared wide-eyed, in complete disbelief. What did you just say? Qing Xiu brought 2 fingers together, forming a hand seal. Instantly, a whirlwind of spiritual energy enveloped the bookshelf. This is the shelf you haven't copied yet, right? That's right. The scrolls began to move, guided by the flow of spiritual energy. Dozens of scrolls swirled around Qing Xiu, each one accompanied by a writing brush. Yin and Yuan Ji could only watch, their mouths agape in astonishment. The wind-controlling art is supposed to be on par with the 4 great spiritual arts, and our junior brother actually mastered it? Unbelievable. That's terrifying. The other disciples were also stunned, breaking out in a cold sweat. Don't tell me, is that the wind-guiding art? The most difficult master-level technique, and someone actually learned it? Judging by his clothes, he looks just like a new disciple. A rookie mastered the wind-guiding art? This is unheard of. A moment later, Qing Xiu picked up a technique manual. He sighed. This shelf is done. See? It's pretty easy. With a wave of his hand, he controlled the books, which arranged themselves neatly back on the shelf. One hand on his hip, the other held out in front of him. He glanced over and said, All written. Senior sisters, could you please bring some more ink? I've used it all up. Wait a minute. Wei Ji asked in surprise. Junior brother, when did you learn the wind-guiding art? Qing Xiu scratched his head and answered casually. Oh, I just happened to glance at it the other day and memorized it. What? You just glanced at it and you were done? Unbelievable. He forced a smile. His tone was humble. Actually, I haven't really mastered it yet. I hope you won't laugh at me, senior sister. Wei Ji gave a small smile. Not mastered it, you say? And yet you're already controlling so many brushes at once. Even foundation establishment disciples can't do that. Junior brother, you are truly a prodigy. If word of this gets out, it'll cause a huge stir. Hearing this, Qing Xiu's eyes went wide. His mind was in turmoil. You gotta be kidding me. I deliberately only controlled 20 brushes to keep a low profile. Who would have thought no one had ever successfully cultivated the wind-guiding art before? With that thought, he raised his hand and gave another forced smile. I'm not as amazing as you say, senior sister. It was just a stroke of luck. Wei Ji's expression grew serious. I once heard our master say that cultivation can sometimes trigger a state of great enlightenment. You must have reached that realm. Qing Xiu immediately slumped to the floor, clutching his head, as if the world was spinning. No, I was just dreaming then, he muttered. But Yin cheered. Just a dream, you say? That's even more amazing, to be able to cultivate even in your dreams. Junior brother, you're a genius among geniuses. This won't do. I have to report this to the sect master. Hey, wait a second. Qing Xiu quickly stood to block the door. In a panic. Senior sister, I'm not that incredible. This misunderstanding is getting dangerous. Haven't you forgotten I have a wind spiritual root? The wind guiding art is naturally suited for wind. That's the only reason I was able to learn it. That's right. I forgot. Wei Ji fell into thought. Could it really be because of the wind spiritual root? Yes. So let's just keep this quiet. It'll be big trouble if the sect master finds out. He pushed his 2 senior sisters back down into their seats. Come on, let's get back to copying. There's still a lot of books. Meanwhile, the surrounding disciples were whispering amongst themselves. A new disciple who mastered the wind guiding art. I have to tell my senior brother immediately. I'm going to report this to my master, too. Not long after, night had fallen. A candle was lit on the table. Qing Xiu brought 2 fingers to his lips. Channeling his spiritual energy, he controlled the brushes. In a flash, one by one, the brushes dropped neatly into the inkwell. Qing Xiu stood up, stretching in satisfaction. Finally done. Senior sister, just a little tidying up and we can go, right? Let's go home. UNG looked completely crestfallen. I thought we'd be here for half a month. Who knew we'd finish in half a day? It's hard to accept. Yinun, holding a stack of cultivation manuals, said sternly, Senior sister, let's clean up quickly. We can still make it back for dinner. All right. Just then, a hand glowing with spiritual energy reached out over the scrolls. Qing Xiu stood before Yunyan, grinning with his arms crossed. No need to go through all that trouble. Let me handle it. Instantly, a powerful stream of spiritual energy enveloped the manuals, lifting them into the air. In just a moment, all the books had flown back to the shelves, perfectly arranged in neat rows. And done, Qing Xiu dusted off his hands, glancing over with a smug smile. All finished. Junior brother, you really are amazing. He clasped his hands behind his back, looking up, with a goofy grin. Let's go home. I wonder what delicious food Xiaoya has cooked up. Hearing this, UNG could only sigh in exasperation. A short while later, the group left the library pavilion. UNG summoned her magical artifact. Junior brother, hurry and get on. This jade flute flies very fast. All right, coming. The three of them sat together on the jade flute, soaring through the sky on their way back. UNG, sitting in the front, reminded him softly, Junior brother, be careful not to fall. They'll just sit closer. Qing Xiu placed his hands on UNG's shoulders. Her face flushed red. Her heart pounded in her chest. UNG took his hands and placed them on her waist. It's easy to lose your balance while flying. Hold on tight. The sudden move left Qing Xiu stunned. Oh my god, this waist is incredible. From behind, Yunyan also wrapped her arms around him. A shiver ran down Qing Xiu's spine. Little brother, don't be scared. I've got you from behind. He broke into a cold sweat. So pure, so beautiful. In front of me is senior sister's stunning figure. And behind me is Yunyan's cute, curvy body. And with her pressing her chest against my back, this is absolute torture. She even whispered, Little brother, don't worry. I'm here for you. The three sat on the jade flute, pressed closely together, making the atmosphere even more awkward. Yunyan held Qing Xiu tightly, while Qing Xiu, in turn, had his arms around UNG, causing her to tremble. She struggled to keep the jade flute stable. And so, the three of them flew straight back without stopping. After the long journey, the three finally returned to their residence. Yunyan hopped off cheerfully, a bright smile on her face. She cheered, We're really home. She glanced at Qing Xiu and asked softly, Little Xiu, flying on an artifact is pretty fun, right? Qing Xiu nodded in response. It is. But when Yunyan turned to look at UNG, she was surprised. Junior brother, why is your face so red? Senior sister, you too. What on earth happened? Could it be from copying all those books? UNG quickly replied. Never mind that. Let's just go inside. The three of them walked past a room where the light was still on, stopping in front of Xiaoya's room. UNG raised a hand to signal for quiet. Xiaoya is still cultivating. Let's head to my room first. Yunyan looked up at the sky, her eyes sparkling. Xiaoya is so dedicated, still training so hard this late at night. But I'm starving. As they entered the room, Weiji noticed the embroidery frame Qing Xiu had left on the table. She picked it up to get a closer look and asked, Junior brother, did you embroider this? Qing Xiu was flustered. I don't know how. My apologies, senior sister. I hope copying those books is enough to make up for this. Weiji turned around, her eyes shining. Make up for what? It's beautiful. Hearing this, Yunyan eagerly came closer. She gasped. It's so cute. Junior brother, you're a genius. Qing Xiu was completely bewildered. How can they call something this warped beautiful? Are they serious? Just then, a triumphant shout echoed from outside the door. Ha! I finally mastered Qi refining. Weiji and Yunyan looked at each other, their eyes wide with excitement. They exclaimed with joy. Xiaoya has started Qi refining. Quick, come in and let us see. Xiaoya ran inside, her face beaming like a flower in full bloom. Weiji walked over and asked, Xiaoya, did you really succeed in Qi refining? She grinned and replied, That's right. I finally caught up to that idiot, Yinqing too. Yinyan clapped her hands in praise. Xiaoya, your aptitude is incredible, just as I thought. That's amazing. Xiaoya walked up to Qing Xiu. I've mastered Qi refining. I'm finally on your level. Let's see you try and run off on your own again. Qing Xiu gently reached out and patted her head. My Xiaoya is still the most impressive one. Of course I am. Her heart swelled with happiness at his praise. Then she asked, Where were you all day? I didn't see you at all. Qing Xiu scratched his head, giving a vague answer. I was just helping senior sister with a small favor. Hearing that, Xiaoya poked him in the head. She said loudly, What kind of favor? You can't even wash clothes or cook. What help would you possibly be? Weiji cut in with a soft laugh. Xiaoya, don't underestimate your junior brother. He actually did us a huge favor. Really? What did he do? Weiji rubbed her chin and answered. He copied ancient texts. And not only that, he successfully learned one of the most difficult arts, the Yufengju. Upon hearing this, Xiaoya was stunned. It was as if she'd been struck by lightning. Her jaw dropped. She screamed. What? Yunyan leaned in and whispered in Xiaoya's ear. Let me tell you all the details. After she heard everything, Xiaoya's head was spinning. It was unbelievable. Using a spirit art to copy books? It took me 4 days just to master chi refining. But in only 4 days, he completely mastered his spirit art. The gulf between him and me, it's just too vast. She lowered her head, her eyes filled with sorrow. Then, she turned to say a quick goodbye to Qingqiu and fled from the room. Xiaoya, where are you going? Craving a late-night study session. Hearing that, our hero blushed. He muttered to himself, a late-night study session? Before he could finish the thought, Weiji landed a punch right on his head, raising a big lump. What are you thinking about, you perv? Xiaoya went to light a lamp to study the spirit tangerine. The next morning, a note was posted on the door of Xiaoya's room. In cultivation, Qingqiu sat hugging his bowl, crying. Tears streamed down his face. He lamented. Why'd she have to get mad and storm off? Now I won't get any more of Xiaoya's cooking. A while later, Qingqiu entered the library pavilion. He was holding a book. His eyes were glued to every page. Suddenly, his eyes widened in shock. This book chronicles the dramatic journey of Junren Shaosan and his disciple. Incredible. With that, he closed the book. He paused and let out a long sigh. Things like that just don't happen in my time. Just then, the two sisters, Xiaoya and Yunyun, appeared. Xiaoya called out, Qingqiu, I've been looking all over for you. So this is where you were, hiding out in the library. You never used to like reading. What's with the sudden change? She walked over and glanced at the books on the table. Introduction to Alchemy, Techniques of Artifact Forging, and a novel too. Then, she noticed a book in Qingqiu's hand. She pressed him. What's that thick book you're holding? Qingqiu quickly hid the book. Behind his back, he answered hastily. It's nothing. Just some books on cultivating the mind. Reading them helps you transcend worldly desires. Xiaoya was skeptical. How miraculous. Wouldn't that help with your cultivation, then? With that, she stepped closer and reached for the book. Let me see it. Oh no, I mean, the one with the thick cover. Qingqiu quickly changed the subject. Ahem. The weather is so nice today. We should have some warm tea. Weren't you busy? How come you have time for me all of a sudden? She struck a cool pose with her hands. Qingqiu forced a laugh. Hith. It's not what you It was Junior's sister. Before he could finish, Xiaoya turned and put a finger to her lips, signaling for him to be quiet. Qingqiu closed his eyes and gave a strained smile. Got it. Just then, Yunyan pulled out a scroll. With an innocent look, she said, I need to gather some herbs. Then she looked at Qingqiu with wide, innocent eyes. Your wind riding art can help, can it, junior brother? Would you be willing to come with me to 100 Treasures Peak? Hearing this, Qingqiu nodded without a moment's hesitation. Of course. When a beauty asks so sincerely, how could I possibly refuse? Yunyan was overjoyed. She puffed out her chest proudly. Her eyes sparkled. Thank you, Qingqiu. She was so flustered that a small movement caused her robes to slip. She quickly turned away, pulling at her sleeve to cover herself. You guys wait here a moment. Qingqiu and Xiaoya both blushed furiously. Their noses were practically bleeding. A while later, they arrived at 100 Treasures Peak in Guyuansor Valley. The group gazed at the rocky mountains and lush forests before them. 100 Treasures Peak is home to countless rare, medicinal herbs and exotic beasts. It's one of the valley's most vital resources. The serene wind herb is ripe. It's the perfect time for harvesting. Suddenly, something made all three of them stare wide-eyed, in disbelief. On the map, aside from one winding section, all the other paths were just straight lines. Yunyan stared at the scroll. A cold sweat broke out on her brow. When I was little, I was lost in these mountains for several days. I only survived by eating whatever herbs I could find. They were incredibly hard to swallow. With that, she lowered her head. Her eyes began to well up. Ever since then, I've been gaining weight. And I can't seem to lose it, no matter what I do. Senior sister. I want to get lost, too. Yun froze when she heard that. She turned to see Ziya's mournful expression. But why? You wouldn't understand, senior sister. Yun turned to ask Qin Xiao. Xiao Qiao, what was you trying to say? Beats me. Maybe she's just craving some wild game? That could be it. With a great stride of her long legs, Yun dashed after them. She shouted, Ziya, wait for me. Don't get lost again. After a while, the three of them arrived in a vast emerald green field. I want to pick this one, and that one too. With her junior brother's help, Qin Xiao immediately performed a technique. All sorts of medicinal herbs flew straight into Yun's basket. Thanks to Xiao Qiao, our gathering speed is off the charts. His wind control technique is so refined now. Speaking of which, Ziya lowered her head. She covered her mouth to hide a smile. Except for the wind control technique, I've already mastered all the other spiritual arts. If that old geezer knew, he'd probably have a heart attack. Once they were done gathering, Yun glanced at the basket on her back, a joyful smile on her face. This should be enough. Let's head back. Just as she finished speaking, a wave of pink spiritual qi spread through the air. Hold on. This scent, it's unusual. Ziya and Qin Xiao looked at Yun, their faces filled with surprise. Senior sister, Qin Xiao smiled. Your sense of smell is incredible. To think you could detect such a well-hidden fragrance. There's a rare spiritual herb on the other side of this field. It's nearly impossible to find without a strong primordial spirit. I never expected you to be so sensitive to it. But contrary to Qin Xiao's expectations, Yun crouched down beside a lush patch of green grass, making him wonder in surprise. This girl, wait, it's not in that direction. Qin Xiao rubbed his chin. He began to sweat. Is there another treasure here that I missed? Meanwhile, Yun held up a handful of red berries, beaming. Xiao Qiao, Ziya, these berries are delicious. Want to try some? Qin Xiao could only shake his head, utterly defeated. Just as Yun stood up, a few streaks of green, spiritual qi zipped past. She looked up toward the sky. Looks like there's something over there. I'm gonna go check it out. Standing nearby, Qin Xiao saw Yun grab a shovel. He breathed a sigh of relief. She finally noticed. A little late, but better than never. Yun began digging furiously. A moment later, she was holding an old, brown jug. She was thrilled. It's the fruit wine I buried half a year ago. I almost forgot all about it. It should be perfect by now. Let's drink it together tonight, okay? She glanced over and saw Qin Xiao's bewildered expression. So she asked, what's wrong? It's nothing. I wonder how it tastes now. It goes down so smooth. It's perfectly sweet. And it's full of rich spiritual energy. After saying that, Yun suddenly looked up and exclaimed, wait a minute. It was as if she'd forgotten something else. And indeed, she had. A glimmer of hope was rekindled in Qin Xiao. He chuckled to himself. Even though she's missed the mark twice. As long as we find the mutated herb, we'll be fine. But then, Yun picked a mushroom off a log, leaving Qin Xiao speechless. A shiitake mushroom. Good thing I came back. I would have missed it otherwise. We got something for dinner tonight. Huh. That's it. I can't rely on this glutton. He put his hands behind his head and started walking away. Yun was confused. Little Xiao, is something wrong? Qin Xiao leaped up onto a branch, his eyes fixed on a cluster of green herbs. He quickly plucked the medicinal plant and landed back on the ground. Senior sister. He showed it to Yun. Her eyes went wide the moment she saw it. This is a mutated spirit grass. A mutated lanyu. Its quality is several times higher. It's reached the 3rd grade. This is incredibly rare. After a moment's thought, she looked at Qin Xiao and asked carefully, Little Xiao, how did you find this? Qin Xiao didn't answer. He just bent down and started digging around another patch of herbs. When he held it up, there was a plump, red fruit at its roots. The two girls cried out as soon as they saw it. A 300-year-old red pearl fruit. It's so rare. Qin Xiao handed all the herbs to Yun. See? All the treasures people have missed for hundreds of years are concentrated right here. The protagonist let out a heavy sigh. Senior sister, remember its scent so you don't miss it next time. Okay, I understand. Qin Xiao clenched his fists. He bowed his head, thinking to himself, if senior sister can't handle it, I'll just have to drag her along. There's nothing an immortal venerable like myself can't handle. Then he turned to leave, prompting a curious Xiao Ye to ask, Where are you off to in such a hurry? Stay put. I'm going to pick some ripe spirit Jew for you. Hearing this, Yin Yun's face lit up with joy. Her eyes sparkled. Spirit Jew. Little Chio, did you say spirit Jew? Don't those only bear fruit once every 100 years? Qing Chio replied. I'm afraid it's been more than just 100 years. They should be mature enough to be consumed directly. At this, Yin Yun's eyes shot open in shock. She asked in a daze, we can eat them directly? That means they must be at least 500 years old. This is truly a treasure from the heavens. Xiaoya immediately grabbed Qing Chio's hand. Where is it? Let's go quickly. Hurry up. It'll be trouble if someone else finds out. The three of them followed the path for a while. An ancient tree, heavy with ripe fruit, appeared before them. Yin Yun suddenly looked back over her shoulder, her expression uneasy. She thought to herself, we're a long way from Yufeng City now. We're getting closer and closer to the other medicine gardens. With that thought, she quickly pulled on Qing Chio's sleeve. Little Chio, this spirit Jew, it doesn't belong to one of the other medicine gardens, does it? We're not allowed in those places. Hearing this, Qing Chio closed his eyes. He pointed behind them and said with a smile, of course not. Among 8 lush, green trees, a single withered, barren tree stood out. It didn't have a single leaf. Seeing this, Yin Yun let out a sigh of relief. If it's in a public area, then it's fine. Anything here is fair game. But Qing Chio, that tree is completely withered. How could it possibly produce a spirit fruit? Qing Chio raised a finger. Shaking it gently, he said, Senior sister, you just have to split it open to see the secret inside. Let me give it a try. Suya leaned in and whispered, how did you suddenly get so sharp? You can find anything. You really want to know? Of course I do. Qing Chio teased. Then finished singing. That song you left unfinished. No way. Fat chance. Suya pouted, frustrated. She pointed a finger in Qing Chio's face and yelled, I'd rather die than sing that ridiculous song. Indeed, she was determined. Suddenly, a flash of light shot out. Yin Yun gathered spiritual energy at her fingertips. Her eyes shining. 2 spirit fruits hovered in midair. A rich fragrance and dense spiritual energy filled the air. Both girls took a deep breath of the scent. Their expressions relaxed. It smells amazing. For you to find them in such a hidden place, junior brother. Is your nose as good as a dog's or something? Just then, a group of people rushed over. The group consisted of a young woman and 2 men. They were clearly disciples of a sect. This is it. They're really spirit fruits. Senior Sister Wan, you're amazing. Yin Yun stood watching as the group approached. Her heart sank. This is bad. Seeing this, Suya asked, who are they? Disciples of the second elder. Ruan Qingqing, Hening, and Fong Tuesday. Their master is weaker than ours, so they only dare to cause trouble when our master is away. Red Rock Peak used to be one of the strongest. At the mention of it, Yin Yun lowered her head, looking dejected. Beads of sweat formed on her brow. Before she could continue, Ruan Qingqing's group swarmed them. They shouted, it really is spirit fruits. Senior sister, you're brilliant. Ruan Qingqing shot them a sideways glance. Her gaze icy. She held the 2 spirit fruits in her hand. What are you looking at? Got a problem? Not happy about it. This precious spirit tree belongs to our Red Rock Peak. You think you people from Azure Gloom Peak have any right to it? Yin Yun and Suya shouted angrily. This is a public area. Ruan Qingqing's face was stern. She declared, all the resources around here belong to my Red Rock Peak. She tightened her grip on the spirit fruits and sneered maliciously. If you don't like it, come and take them. Hearing this, Yin Yun's face darkened. She fell silent. Then, she pulled Suya's arm, whispering, let's go. Suya asked, bewildered. Why, senior sister? Senior sister Luo isn't here. I have to protect you all. Don't argue. Just listen to me. We'll deal with this when senior sister Luo gets back. Fong Tu laughed mockingly. He scoffed dismissively. Senior sister was right. People from Azure Gloom Peak really do only know how to back down. Hening chimed in. Even that freak with the mutated dual spiritual roots is just a piece of trash. A bunch of useless losers. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, Suye erupted in fury. Her spiritual energy flared. Who are you calling useless? Fong Tu pointed forward. He said arrogantly, that one, the one named Yun. Someone with mutated dual spiritual roots can't even cultivate. If that's not useless, I don't know what is. Hearing this, Xiaoya's face darkened. Her eyes flashed with barely suppressed rage. Yunyun's eyes widened at the sight. No way. This girl radiating such killing intent. Could she really be my sweet junior sister? But Fangdu didn't stop. He scoffed. Am I wrong? This junior sister. You must have joined the sect with him, right? Without another word, he stepped closer, reaching out a hand to stroke Xiaoya's chin. He cooed. Such a shame to waste your time with a useless cripple. You'd be better off coming to Chien Peak. It'll be much easier to find a worthy cultivation partner there. The moment the words left his mouth, a flash of light shot past him. Fangdu whipped his head around. Xiaoya's fingertips blazed with concentrated spiritual energy. Her gaze was like ice. She growled. Say, that, again. Fangdu gritted his teeth. A brand new disciple dares to lecture me? The nerve. Just because she has dual spiritual roots, she thinks she can do whatever she wants? He clasped his hands behind his back, a vicious smile spreading across his face. How arrogant. If Qingyu Peak doesn't know how to discipline its disciples, then I'll do your senior sisters a favor and teach you some manners. Wan Qingqing immediately backed away. With her eyes shut, she warned him, don't go too far. It'll be a huge mess if she gets seriously injured. Fangdu channeled golden spiritual energy into his fist, unleashing a direct punch at Xiaoya. Qing Xiu shrieked in terror. Xiaoya. He swung his powerful fist, but Xiaoya stood her ground, unflinching. She raised a hand, effortlessly blocking the blow. Then, in a flash, she countered, driving a kick into his stomach and ramming an elbow into his head. He took both hits square on. His face turned ashen, his teeth ground together. But Xiaoya wasn't done. She pressed the attack. Her eyes locked on him. A powerful stomp sent him crashing face first into the dirt, shaking the very ground beneath him. From the sidelines, Qing Xiu waved a pair of drumsticks, cheering her on. You're amazing, Xiaoya. That was incredible. Wan Qingqing was horrified. A cold sweat broke out on her brow. Her face was a mask of shock. Did she just use a spiritual art? She's only been here a few days. How can she already use one? That's impossible. Fangdu was seething with humiliation. His expression was murderous. I'm a foundation establishment cultivator, and I was just seriously wounded by this little brat? This is unbearable. Hining shot to his feet. Channeling his energy, his eyes blazing, he roared. So you're using spiritual arts, huh? Fine. Then I won't hold back either. He unleashed a powerful blast of golden energy. In response, Xiaoya quickly formed a hand seal, gathering a protective shroud of spiritual energy around herself. Seeing this, Qing Xiu was stunned. But before she could react, Yunyun stepped forward. Her aura flared powerfully. Xiao Qiu, stay back. Qing Xiu froze, her eyes wide. What the? You're not even going to let me have a turn? So unfair. I'm the Azure Emperor, for crying out loud. Before she could finish her complaint, Yunyun had already summoned her magic weapon, a giant, brilliant red fan. With a single sweep, she sent a powerful gale smashing straight into Fangdu's back. He realized too late. He spins and throws a punch. A smirk plays on his lips. Child's play. Just as the words left his mouth, an unexpected turn of events left him stunned. Xiaoya appeared right beside him, unleashing an incredibly powerful blast of qi. She's not like a new disciple at all. If I don't get serious, I'm going to lose all face. As he was thinking, he realized both girls were attacking him at once. From a distance, Wan Qingqing watched on. She bit her nail in annoyance. Absolutely useless. He's nothing but a disgrace to the Crimson Rock House. He Ning. Go drag that trash out of there. Yes, senior sister. At her command, He Ning charged straight for Xiaoya and Yunyun. Yunyun caught sight of him. A cold sweat broke out on her skin. She thought to herself, this is bad. Just dealing with Fangdu is already exhausting. With him in the mix, we don't stand a chance. In contrast to Yunyun's worry, Xiaoya remained perfectly calm. Her gaze fixed forward, calculating. The only option now is to stall He Ning's advance, and then retreat with senior sister. As He Ning lunged forward with his hands ablaze, Xiaoya simultaneously unleashed countless water spikes toward him. Flames erupted from He Ning's hands. He sneered. So you've even mastered the water condensation art. What a surprise. In that instant, water and fire collided. In a flash, Xiaoya's water-based spiritual energy was completely obliterated by He Ning's flames. The fire continued to surge toward her, forcing her to grit her teeth and brace for the impact. Her face twisted in pain, but he wasn't done. A massive torrent of fire engulfed the sky, descending upon Xiaoya and Yunyan. It looked as if it would swallow them whole. Yunyan looked up, her eyes wide with terror. The inferno reflected in her pupils. This is really bad. What are we going to do? In this moment of crisis, Qing Qiu stepped forward. He held out a hand, using his qi to suppress the opponent's flames. When Xiaoya saw him, she panicked. You idiot! Get out of the way! Instantly, Qing Qiu gathered the flames into his palm, forming a fiery orb. He clenched his fist, crushing the fireball. A violent shock wave erupted. Immediately after, a deafening explosion ripped through the air. A thick cloud of smoke and dust billowed high into the sky. Qing lowered her head, a faint smirk on her lips. I did tell them not to go overboard, but it's good for them to suffer a bit. A perfect way to put the serene hollow house in its place. From the explosion, He Ning was thrown back, but his expression remained confident. Ha. Go on, keep acting tough. Let's see you try that again. From within the thick screen of smoke, Qing Qiu emerged. His feet were planted firmly on the ground. He Ning's face was a mask of horror. Sweat poured from his brow. Isn't this the piece of trash with the mutated dual spiritual roots? How is this possible? While he was still reeling in shock, Qing Qiu appeared behind him. His voice was ice cold. You all have some real guts. The moment the words left his mouth, he drove a powerful kick into He Ning's side. Fong Tu, who was standing nearby, could only stare, his mouth hanging open. He joined the sect before I did. He's supposed to be stronger than me, and he just got sent flying by that loser? After taking down He Ning, Qing Qiu turned and shot a friendly glance at Xiaoya. He paid no mind to Fong Tu launching a sneak attack. From behind, a brutal, flaming punch. He sneered. You're still way out of your league. But Qing Qiu had already noticed. He shot Fong Tu a sharp glare. One idiot. He spun around and landed a kick straight to Fong Tu's head. The heavy blow was too fast for him to dodge. He went flying and slammed into the rock where He Ning lay motionless. A gleaming sword was drawn. Qing held the sword, roaring in fury. You bastard! How dare you harm someone from Red Rock Peak? Qing Qiu quickly stepped in front of her. His gaze was indifferent. He condensed a ball of energy in his palm and launched it forward. Go cause a scene somewhere else. Qing was blasted into the air. She crashed hard onto the ground, her legs flailing wildly. She cried out, Ow, that hurts like hell. But he wasn't finished. Qing Qiu was still channeling his spiritual energy. His eyes burned with anger. He sent 3 bamboo spikes flying forward. They pinned Qing and her lackeys by their clothes, leaving them dangling from a tree branch. Standing below, Qing Qiu dusted off his hands. His voice rang out clearly. Evil deeds bring just deserts. Let's go. Time to go home, he said, turning to leave. He left the 2 stunned girls behind. Back at their place, Qing Qiu sat down at the table. He ate his meal leisurely. Chewing, he smiled brightly. Finally, after half a month, I get to taste Xiaoya's cooking again. This is pure bliss. He looked up and saw the 2 girls with strange expressions on their faces. One was staring intently. The other was looking down, dejected. Qing Qiu asked, What's wrong? Aren't you 2 eating? Yunyun's eyes were shining. I don't feel like eating. Junior brother, you've only been cultivating for half a month, right? Qing Qiu nodded in confirmation. So you kept her head down? Her shoulders slumped. Senior sister, am I just that bad? I've been cultivating for half a month, and I'm still this weak. Yunyun wiped away a tear as she tried to comfort her. If you're a fool, then I'm even worse. It took me half a year to master the first spiritual art, but you did it in just a few days. You're way ahead of me. Despite the comforting words, Long Xiaoyu was still heavy-hearted. Compared to Qing Qiu, I feel so insignificant. Am I even cut out for cultivation? Yunyun sighed. If you aren't cut out for it, then what does that make me? Xiaoyu looked up at Qing Qiu and asked, How did you get so strong? Mastering spiritual arts is easy, isn't it? You don't really need to study much. Suddenly, Yunyun stood up. She gathered the dirty dishes and said quietly, I'm going to do the dishes. As she walked away, her eyes were still wet with tears. She whispered to herself, "Forget it. Talking with these two just makes me feel pathetic." Suya and Qin Xiu watch her go, completely bewildered. What's wrong with senior sister? Why'd she suddenly leave in the middle of dinner? Suya guessed. Maybe she's trying to lose weight again? Or maybe she's planning on going for a run. With that said, Xiaoya propped her hands on the table, pushed herself up, and sighed. She glanced at Qin Xiu and spoke as if giving an order. "Take off your clothes." Startled, Qin Xiu instinctively covered his chest. "Xiaoya, what are you trying to do? Don't be so shy. There's nothing to be afraid of." With her back turned, Xiaoya snapped. "You idiot. What were you thinking? I've been cultivating for half a month, and I bet you've been too lazy to do your laundry. Haven't you? Hurry and give them here. I'll wash them for you." Qin Xiu scratched his head, laughing awkwardly. "You don't have to do that. My spiritual energy keeps my body and clothes clean. They only get dirty if I'm in a really intense fight." But Xiaoya was insistent. She snatched Qin Xiu's outer robe, sending him spinning. "I'm washing this. Besides, having fresh clothes will lift your spirits." She beamed. "Now give me the rest, so I can wash them all." Qin Xiu watched her, a worried look on his face. "How could I possibly say no? In all my life, this is the first time anyone's ever done my laundry. My underwear, too." Xiaoya shook her head. "Don't be embarrassed. It's not the first time. You're strong now. You don't need my protection anymore. I remember back when you used to get bullied. I was always the one who stood up for you. It only took a few punches for those brats to run home crying to their parents. And I'd be the one covered in bruises. I promised I'd always be by your side, that I'd never abandon you." Qin Xiu fell silent, lost in thought. Just the other day, she blew up when Qi Yin phone called me useless. It doesn't matter how strong the opponent is. If anyone insults me, she always defends me. As he dwelled on this, a faint blush crept onto Qin Xiu's cheeks. He quickly wiped away a single tear before it could fall. "No matter where I go, or how powerful I become, this feeling of being cared for is so warm." Shaking himself from his thoughts, Qin Xiu turned and called out to Xiaoya. She answered immediately. "What is it?" Suddenly, a torrent of energy erupted inside Xiaoya's body, sending a shock of pain through her. She gritted her teeth, her eyes wide with agony. She collapsed. Qin Xiu rushed forward to catch her. Her entire body was glowing with a brilliant golden spiritual aura. It hurt so much. Qin Xiu examined the aura surrounding. He was worried. Why is this manifesting now? Qin Xiu scooped Xiaoya into his arms and carried her to the bed. He watched her intently. Activating his cultivation technique, he channeled his spiritual energy into her to stabilize her meridians. As he circulated his power, Qin Xiu discovered a shocking secret. It's the heavenly nether sacred physique, an incredibly rare constitution from ancient times, one protected by the heavenly Tao itself. He gently pinched Xiaoya's soft cheek. He muttered to himself, to think the heavenly nether sacred physique would appear in a remote place like this. Could it be that Xiaoya is the real protagonist here? Qin Xiu crossed his arms, let out a soft sigh. It's awakening far too early. Her body can't handle the strain. He thought for a long moment. Then, he frowned as an idea suddenly came to him. "I've got it." He helped Xiaoya into a sitting position and slowly began to unfasten her clothes. In an instant, her smooth, pale skin was revealed beneath her undergarments. His expression was completely serious. Qin Xiu formed a seal with 2 fingers. A spiritual formation appeared on her body, designed to balance her turbulent energy with her physical form. "Now I just need to add a spiritual herb, and this should work." As soon as he finished speaking, he placed his hand on her delicate jade-like foot. A blush spread across his face. He smiled. "Oh wow, Tuna is so soft." Ton Thursday shakes his head, trying to stay focused. "Tang Tu, calm down. The mission comes first." He presses a pressure point on her thigh. Instantly, a golden spiritual energy envelopes her entire body. Ton Thursday raises his hand. A white mist rises. He uses his ice-based arts to support her. Tuna shivers slightly. Her face flushes in her daze. "Tang Tu, I'm so hot." Ton Thursday frowns. "Just hold on a little longer. The formation is almost complete. Once it stabilizes, you'll be fine." The 2 streams of spiritual energy merge and spread throughout her body, causing her to writhe in agony. "I can't take it anymore." She cries out, I have to go. The moment she says it, she throws her arms around Tan Thursday. He blushes, completely flustered. He stammers, Dunya, what's gotten into you? Then she breathes heavily right into his ear, making him let out a small gasp. Tuna even lets out a teasing little purr. Hearing it, Tan Thursday flinches. His eyes fly open. Good heavens, who could possibly resist this? Without another moment of hesitation, he pushes her down. Dunya, you really are a little temptress. She falls onto the bed, dazed, and passes out. The delirium finally fades. Tuna turns on her side and drifts into a deep sleep. Seeing this, Tan Thursday finally lets out a sigh of relief. He places a hand over his chest and chuckles softly. That formation just now poured too much spiritual energy into her, causing some changes in Tuna's body. And it seems I accidentally reaped a huge benefit from it. Just then, an imprint appears on Tuna's dantian, continuously emitting waves of white light. Tan Thursday freezes, stunned. His expression turns grave. What is this? A spiritual imprint from the formation. But why is it my imprint? He stares intently at her abdomen, muttering to himself. Only dual cultivation partners can leave spiritual imprints on each other. But Tuna and I haven't done anything. At that thought, Tan Thursday clutches his head. His eyes bulge. This is just too bizarre. Later, he's sitting on the steps, chewing on a blade of grass, a look of melancholy on his face. 10,000 years of solitude. And now, out of nowhere, I have a dual cultivation partner. This feels as strange as if the sky suddenly started raining. Now that the spiritual imprint is there, our fates are intertwined. Our dual cultivation power will increase tenfold. This is absolutely terrifying. Tan Thursday closes his eyes, his mind in turmoil. But once that imprint is made, our bodies and souls are bound to each other. Betrayal is impossible, which means, as he thinks it through, a sudden realization dawns on Tan Thursday. His eyes fly open. Tuna, she's mine now. No one but me can ever touch her. He drops the blade of grass. His face is a mask of frustration. That bizarre constitution of hers, it just takes a little spiritual energy and instantly chooses a partner. It's so damn arbitrary. Tan Thursday looks completely devastated. A single tear streaks down his face. We haven't done a single thing, yet we're already bound as dual cultivation partners. How am I ever supposed to face Tuna now? I didn't even do anything. Will she even believe me? Besides, I don't have Xiaoya's spirit seal. She has to be the one to recognize me. None of this makes any sense. Lost in thought, the door suddenly burst open, making Qing Qiu jump. A single foot stepped out slowly. Qing Qiu froze when he saw her blushing face. Instantly, Xiaoya glared at him, her eyes filled with murder. Before he could even react, she launched a kick straight at his face. You're disgusting. Qing Qiu flailed around frantically. He yelled out, I didn't see anything. I definitely didn't see your white underwear. The moment the words left his mouth, his eyes went wide. His face turned pale. Damn it. Blushing furiously, Xiaoya covered her chest with her hands. She stammered. You really are a pervert. Qing Qiu looked up. His eyes were filled with awe. Her netherworld saintly body has just awakened, and she already looks so otherworldly. In a few years, she'll be a beauty capable of toppling nations. Flustered, Xiaoya turned away. She gently touched her cheek and asked quietly, Is there something on my face? What is it? Qing Qiu touched the bridge of his nose, thinking to himself, This is bad. Even her breath carries an enchanting scent. She's so much more beautiful than before. Hearing that, Xiaoya's eyes widened. After staring at him for a moment, she crossed her arms and asked stubbornly, Exactly how beautiful? So beautiful you want to hold me in your arms, is that it? His words made her heart tremble. She was completely captivated. It was so rare for him to say something so sweet. The moment she finished speaking, she stomped her foot and launched herself into the air. In an instant, Xiaoya threw her arms around Qing Qiu, causing him to freeze solid. She whispered, Are you satisfied now? They remained locked together, silent, in the strange atmosphere between them. She hid her face in Qing Qiu's shoulder. She thought to herself, That dream last night felt so real and so embarrassing. In Xiaoya's dream, They were both dressed in magnificent wedding robes. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head bowed shyly. She softly called his name. Ching Chiu. The young man drew closer. He lifted her chin. He murmured, "You should call me husband." With that, Ching Chiu gently pushed Xiaoya down onto the bed. Behind the bed curtains, an intimate scene between husband and wife unfolded. Back in the present, Xiaoya grew even more flustered. She thought desperately, this is not good. Meanwhile, inappropriate images kept flashing through Ching Chiu's mind. His hand was resting on her smooth, pale thigh. He struggled to remain calm. He didn't dare move a muscle. Sweat beaded on his brow. Stay calm. Don't think about it. Don't you dare think about it. Sensing her trembling, Ching Chiu asked softly, "What's wrong?" She stammered. And no, nothing's wrong. But he thought to himself, the spirit seal must have activated. Xiaoya's eyes darted around the room. If no one else were here right now, she instinctively tightened her embrace. Want to call out his name. Then, she suddenly leaped off him. She clasped her hands behind her back, lifted her chin high, and spoke defiantly. "You wanted to hear me sing? Right? I'll sing for you right now. Is that okay?" Hearing this, Ching Chiu broke into a radiant smile. He nodded eagerly. Great. In a quiet moment that followed, Xiaoya began to sing, and Ching Chiu clapped softly along, just like two carefree children. Later, back in the kitchen, Xiaoya carried a bowl of rice and sat down at the table. She was so embarrassed she wanted to bury her face in her bowl. She scolded herself. "I can't believe I actually sang. That song. Just thinking about it makes me want to find a hole to crawl into." Then she glanced up at Ching Chiu, thinking, even though we grew up together, that song was really too much. Ching Chiu ate as he thought. The future heavenly nether saint body, a peerless celestial maiden, singing a grown-up song, it really stirs the soul. Ever since I placed this spiritual seal on her, our fates have been intertwined. Every day, she draws a considerable amount of my spiritual and vital energy. Ching Chiu quickly swallowed a mouthful of rice, muttering to himself, my body was already weak to begin with, and now it's constantly being drained. As he was lost in thought, Yin Yun, sitting beside them, spoke up. "Ching Chiu, Xiaoya, what's been going on with you two lately? Why aren't you talking? Did you get into another fight?" Xiaoya quickly lowered her head to her bowl, mumbling a soft reply. "No, we didn't. We're fine. It's just this brat's fault for making me sing," she said, glaring at Ching Chiu, who was busy eating. Yin Yun asked in surprise, "Oh, is there a new song out? I'd like to learn it too." Hearing that, Ching Chiu glanced at Yin Yun, thinking, little senior sister's voice is so gentle. She sounds just like a celestial singer. I wonder what it would be like if she sang that song. As he was daydreaming, Xiaoya's intense stare snapped Ching Chiu back to reality. He quickly shook his head, not daring to think about it any further. She looked down and sighed. "Oh, right. Senior sister. Ching Chiu. I just broke through to the 6th level of chi refinement." The moment she finished speaking, the chopsticks in Yin Yun's hand fell to the ground. "This morning, when my spiritual sea expanded, I realized it." Yin Yun sighed. "What kind of talent is this? A few days for you is more than a year of cultivation for me. This is so depressing." Xiaoya turned to Ching Chiu. Her eyes crinkled as she smiled. "So, aren't I amazing?" Ching Chiu forced a smile. He thought, she's absorbing my spiritual and vital energy. So her cultivation is advancing at lightning speed. And it just makes her even more adorable. But inside, he was still miserable. This is all built on my vital energy. Xiaoya noticed how pale Ching Chiu's face had become. She asked with concern, "Why do you look so sick? Isn't it because you've drained all my essence?" Ching Chiu replied. But before he could finish, Xiaoya's face flushed red as she remembered the scene from her dream. She slammed her hand on the table. "What nonsense are you talking about? It was just rain." "What rain?" Ching Chiu asked. This made her duck her head low, falling silent, not daring to say another word. Then, she grabbed Ching Chiu's hand and pulled him away. "Hurry up. Hold on. I'm not full yet." Ching Chiu called out. "It's okay." Suya said, "My cultivation has improved. But this basic spirit art isn't suitable for me anymore. Come with me to the scripture pavilion and we'll find you a new one." She stood watching him. He was inwardly impressed. Lilia is really something else. Before long, the two of them arrived at the scripture pavilion of the Wan Yuan sword sect. Suya's eyes went wide as she looked around. Her eyes sparkled with wonder. So this is the scripture pavilion? It's huge. What kind of technique are you looking for? The one Yuan Sword sect is just a mid-tier sect. They probably only have mediocre stuff here. She turned back and winked playfully at Qing Xiao. I'm not telling you yet. Oomph. She thought to herself. I've heard that in the cultivation world, there are techniques that can preserve one's beauty, secret flying arts, and even methods for taming beasts. As she imagined it, she covered her mouth, giggling to herself. So many fascinating techniques. I'm so excited. Qing Xiao sighed. He mused to himself. She's just like the first female disciple I ever taught. The moment she joined the sect, all she wanted were beauty-preserving techniques and flashy moves. Thinking back, 1,000 years have passed, and now she's the renowned sword sovereign of the cultivation world. How time flies. As he was lost in thought, Lilia grabbed his hand tightly. All right then, let's go inside together, she said, pulling him into the scripture pavilion. But the scene inside left Lilia stunned. Disciples were scrambling over each other, snatching up techniques. One of them sighed. I finally got the one I wanted. My aptitude and cultivation are so low, and I don't have enough contribution points. It's almost impossible to get a good technique. Seeing this, Lilia glanced at Qing Xiao. Her eyes were sparkling. I wonder what kind of techniques we can get with our aptitude. Don't worry, little one, Qing Xiao said, gently patting her head. As Qing Xiao was affectionately stroking her hair, a young man suddenly appeared before them. His gaze fell upon her radiant face. He froze for a few seconds. His eyes glazed over, and he whispered, a goddess. But when he looked around, he realized he wasn't the only one who was captivated. The entire crowd was staring at Lilia. Since when did our sect have such a pure and ethereal beauty? No way. I have to make a move. Another guy immediately shoved his way forward, pushing his friend aside. He thought, damn it, she's already with someone. At that moment, Qing Xiao noticed the lustful gazes from all the men. Why are they all looking at me like I'm prey? Thinking this, he narrowed his eyes. A sly grin spread across his face. Oomph. You guys think I'm some kind of pushover? He immediately turned to her. His eyes fixed firmly on Lilia. Have you ever had to bully a small animal? Never, right? Well, today, I'm going to teach you how to deal with a pack of single dogs. With that, Qing Xiao bent down and gently kissed Lilia's hand. Her face flushed crimson. She broke out in a nervous sweat. Furious, she balled her fist and punched him on the chest. You idiot. Qing Xiao just smiled and gently patted her head. The crowd of men who witnessed it erupted. Oh my God. Are they putting on a show just to torture us single guys? This is the bridge of slaughter. It hurt so much. Before long, the disciples were lined up in neat rows, waiting to receive their cultivation manuals. From behind the counter, a young man emerged, a teacup in hand, wearing a listless expression. Things have been so dull lately. The sect's grand selection hasn't even started yet. I feel like I'm wasting away. At that moment, a male disciple holding a white jade bottle approached him with a grin. Senior brother, your power is immense, and you've just mastered the water sword art. You're sure to be a star in the upcoming selection. Hearing this, the young man with the teacup scoffed. There isn't a single senior brother or sister in our generation who poses a threat to me. The disciple lowered his head and replied, Of course, senior brother, you're the strongest. As he finished speaking, he offered a book and a red envelope. Senior brother, could you please sign off on this? The young man glanced at the red envelope, his eyes full of contempt. Then he waved him away. All right. Now get out of here. The disciple quickly tucked the envelope into his robes. He sighed. Strange. How come I haven't seen a single cute junior sister around? Hearing that, a fellow disciple nearby chuckled. What's the rush, senior brother? The new recruits have only just reached the chi refining stage. It'll be a few more days before they come to the scripture pavilion to borrow manuals. The young man sighed in frustration. Ugh, I have to wait even longer. But as he looked up, he suddenly spotted someone. His eyes lit up. Wait a second. It was then that Xiaoya came into view. Whoa, how can a girl be so captivating? Qing Xiao smirked, his hands behind his head. He gestured to the other disciples and said with a flippant look, You're not mad I fought back a little, are you? If looks could kill, I'd have died 100 times over by now. Hearing this, Xiaoya looked down, thinking to herself, Little fairy, huh? She walked over and playfully punched Qin Xiao in the chest. Is it your excuse for taking advantage of me? You better find a way to make it up to me, or else I'm done with you. Make it up to you? How about I sing you a song, then? Suya's face flushed. She shoved Qin Xiao backward. Humph. Shut up. I don't need that. She had only turned and taken a few steps when someone blocked her path. Junior sister, are you here to borrow a spirit art too? It was the young man from the scripture pavilion. He scanned Xiaoya from head to toe, praising her silently. She has such an enchanting presence. Without a trace of shame, he leaned in and began to speak. Junior sister, you've just entered the Qi refining stage, so access to the spirit arts section is limited. It's difficult to find a good manual. Luckily for you, I'm in charge here. I know this place inside and out. If you'd like, I can show you the way. Xiaoya's voice turned icy. Thank you for the kind offer, but I don't need it. The disciples standing nearby were annoyed by the scene. That guy's using his position to hit on a junior sister. One of them whispered, "Don't get involved. He's got a lot of authority. Piss him off, and you can forget about ever borrowing a manual from here again." But the young man wouldn't give up. He spread his arms, blocking her path. Junior sister, don't be in such a rush. At your current level, there's no way you can get a second-grade spirit art. Are you sure you don't want my help? He even reached out to touch her chin. I'm in charge of the outer sect. I can help you out. Before he could even touch her, Yin Qingqiu shot forward. He grabbed the man's wrist. The man scowled, annoyed. Who are you? Can't you see I'm talking to my junior sister? Scram. Yin Qingqiu looked back at him with contempt. A smirk played across his lips. Senior brother, can't you see how uncomfortable you're making her? If you have any sense, you'll get lost. Hearing this, the man's face went pale with rage. He gritted his teeth. This bastard dares to humiliate me. In front of everyone? And he told me to get lost. A chubby disciple in the crowd broke out in a cold sweat. He was terrified. Who is this guy? You have to think twice before playing the hero for a pretty girl. Daring to be so disrespectful to his senior brother. This kid is so dead. Especially since that senior brother is the second elder's direct disciple. The man exploded with anger. He roared, "You've got some nerve, kid. Ever since I became the second elder's direct disciple, you're the first person who's dared to offend me. You got the guts to tell me your name?" Yin Qingqiu didn't hesitate. He stated clearly, "Qing Yu Peak." Yin Qingqiu. Yin Qingqiu. That name sounds familiar. Isn't he the one with the mutated dual spirit roots? He was shunned by all the elders. No one would take him as a disciple. In the end, he was just dumped on the fourth elder. The one who just wanders around all day and couldn't care less about the sect. He's going to get beaten senseless this time. No one is going to protect him. The man's face darkened. He ground his teeth. Qing Yu Peak? A weak faction, with a master who's never even around. This kid has a death wish. After a moment's thought, he glared at Yin Qingqiu and let out a derisive laugh. Huh, so you're that piece of trash with the dual spirit roots. That's right, I'm that piece of trash. Does senior brother have some lesson to teach me? Hearing this, the man burst into laughter, clapping his hands loudly. Impressive. I've been in the Xinyuan Sor Valley for 5 years, and I have never met anyone with guts like yours. He faced Yun Qingqiu, his gaze as sharp as a blade. A mere new disciple dares to speak to me so disrespectfully. So what, you little brat? If I don't teach you a lesson today, you'll never learn to respect your fellow disciples. As he spoke, he threw a punch. In a flash of white, the surrounding disciples cried out in horror. That's the crushing rock fist. Even a glancing blow will leave you bedridden for months. A direct hit will cripple you for life. And Yun Qingqiu's constitution is already so weak. Is he going to be beaten to death, right here? Behind him, Xiaoya was beside herself with worry. The guy is really strong. Even if Qingqiu is a genius, there's no way he can block that. I have to help him. A vicious, full-powered fist tore through the air with explosive force. The man bellowed, "You idiot!" But Yin Qingqiu simply raised his hand and caught the incoming fist. The watching disciples' eyes went wide. They gasped. He didn't dodge. He took it head-on. Yin Qingqiu stood his ground, unflinching. His eyes were like ice. A victorious smirk spread across his lips. "Xiaoya, stay back. I'll handle this guy." His voice rang out, brimming with confidence. Tanya looked at Qingqiu, her eyes filled with worry. She whispered, "You have to be careful. Don't let your guard down for a second." After his attack was neutralized the opponent's face went pale. He gritted his teeth. His heart filled with rage. He actually blocked my move? Unbelievable. Taking a few steps back to regain his footing, he muttered to himself. The elders never thought much of his mutated spirit root. That must have been a lucky break. He slammed his foot down. A cloud of white smoke instantly billowed up. In a flash, he launched a deadly kick straight at Qing Xiao. But Qing Xiao deftly dodged and threw a counterpunch. His eyes flashed. He swung his arm with force, his fist landing squarely in his opponent's stomach. The hammer-like blow sent the man tumbling across the ground. Qing Xiao lightly dusted off his robes, a smug smile on his face. You call that an attack, senior brother? You hit like a kitten. What a disappointment. If you're still holding back, you might as well give up now. Because if you can't take me down, you're not going to like it when it's my turn. His opponent clutched his chest, growling through gritted teeth. You damn brat. Doubts began to creep into his mind. I was holding back at first, but then I went all out and still couldn't beat him. Is there really a difference between a mutated spirit root and a useless one? A scornful look flashed in his eyes. So you're relying on that mutated spirit root to block my attacks. Let's see how long that thing can protect you. With that, he stomped hard on the ground. Spiritual energy surged around him. Countless sharp blades of qi formed in the air. Let's see you block this. The surrounding disciples gasped in horror. The water sword art. A second-grade spirit art. Is he trying to kill Yun Qing Xiao? Losing would be humiliating for him. But using a move like this is going too far. Qing Xiao remained calm. He raised his hands, channeling his own technique. A fierce gale rose up, sweeping away the blades of qi. He clapped his hands together. Powerful shock waves erupted outward. The man sneered, a disdainful laugh escaping his lips. A first-grade defensive spirit art? You think that's gonna... Before he could finish his sentence, the gale shattered all of his qi blades. The fragments shot back, making his eyes go wide. He gritted his teeth in terror. In that instant, Qing Xiao lunged forward, pouring all his power into the palm of his hand. You've had your turn, senior brother. Now it's mine. Two disciples standing nearby cried out in fear. A first-grade, initial stage spirit art. The mountain palm, the palm strike sent him flying into a bookshelf. Dust filled the air. Everything around them was a wreck. The move was over. Qing Xiao closed his eyes, a faint smile on his lips. He dusted off his hands. Thank for the free points, senior brother. Now get lost. Tanya rushed over, frantic. Her face was a mask of worry. Qing Xiao, are you okay? Qing Xiao glanced at her, answering nonchalantly. Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm fine. But even after hearing that, Xiaoya's brow was still furrowed. Her eyes were filled with worry. She lowered her head and let out a sigh. I can't believe stepping onto the path of cultivation would change Qing Xiao this much. To stand out so much right from the start. After a moment's thought, Xiaoya walked over and tugged on Qing Xiao's sleeve. A bright smile spread across her face. She asked him directly, Come on, be honest with me. What's your cultivation level right now? Qing Xiao scratched his head, playing dumb. Oh, it's nothing special. I'm just a little bit stronger than you. Xiaoya looked down, her voice laced with disappointment. Is it really just a little bit? Look me in the eye and say it. Qing Xiao met her gaze and replied. It really is. Xiaoya crossed her arms and sighed. All right, fine. I'll believe you for now. But if you're stronger than me, why do you still have to protect me? You protect me. I'll take care of you. Deal. Qing Xiao was stunned for a few seconds, then burst out, laughing. From now on, I'll protect you. She's so adorable. Enough to make a 1,000-year-old bachelor like me want to give it all up. The two of them linked. Pinkies, sharing a happy laugh. Then it's a promise. The disciples watching from the doorway began to whisper amongst themselves. What's going on? Are they being all lovey-dovey again? It's not over yet. I'm afraid we're about to see something not suitable for all ages. Two young men peeked out to get a look. It wasn't clear what they saw, but their eyes went wide. Their jaws dropped as they yelled. This is scandalous. Just then, a hand slapped one of the disciples across the face, knocking his jaw sideways. A voice rang out. Out of the way. It was Yun Yun. She ran over, rushing. She was panting heavily. I finally found you too. Phew. I'm dead tired. Xiaoya immediately ran to support her. Senior sister, what's wrong? Yun Yun turned to them. a look of deep concern on her face. The manager of the scripture pavilion is the second elder's direct disciple. A few days ago, we clashed with those three from the Crimson Rock Hall. I was worried he'd use this as a chance to get revenge, so I rushed over to check on you. After speaking, she glanced back at the crowd of disciples. But why is it so crowded today? What happened? Senior sister, you're overthinking it. Those three were defeated by a new disciple. They wouldn't have the guts to report it. Senior sister, are you talking about that direct disciple, Su Xiao? Hearing this, Yin Yun's eyes widened. In complete shock. That's right. It's him. Rumor has it, he often uses his authority to take advantage of newcomers. As she finished, she turned her head away, letting out a small sigh of relief. I'm glad I got here in time. It's a good thing you two haven't run into him yet. Senior sister, we already met him. At that, Yin Yin spun around and grabbed Xiaoya's hands tightly. What? Did he bully you? Not at all. Actually, Qing Xiao was the one who pushed him around. Xiaoya pointed towards Su Xiao, who was passed out behind them. She chuckled. Senior sister, look. He picked a fight with Qing Xiao and ended up getting beaten so badly he's still lying over there. Two male disciples were helping Su Xiao up. His face, pale, eyes rolling back, pupils vanished. Muyin slowly looked up, staring. What? Even Su Xiao lost to our junior brother? What in the world is going on? Just then, an elder entered. The disciples immediately formed neat lines on either side. They all shouted in unison. The third elder has arrived. The third elder frowned in anger the moment he stepped inside. What is the meaning of this gathering? The scripture pavilion is supposed to be a place of quiet contemplation. Yet you brought a whole crowd here. Have you no sense of decorum? Disperse at once. Hearing this, the disciples hastily retreated. Only Qing Xiao's group remained standing still. Their eyes were fixed on the third elder. Then, Qing Xiao, Suya, and Muyin bowed in greeting. Greetings, third elder. Su Xiao and his two companions also knelt in greeting, bowing their heads to the elder. The third elder's face was grim. He began to question him. Defeated by a new disciple. I'm honestly speechless. I doubt you have any excuses left. When your second senior brother finds out, I'm sure he'll punish you himself. There's no need for me to get involved. Now get out of my sight. Su Xiao, with his broken teeth, thought with a bitter heart. This is a complete and utter humiliation. After dealing with Su Xiao, the third elder turned to Qing Xiao, nodding his head. When you first joined, none of the senior brothers thought much of you. Who would have thought your natural talent would be so extraordinary? It's truly astonishing. Qing Xiao bowed his head in thanks. Su Xiao has been dealt with. Surely the elder won't make things difficult for us now. If there is nothing else, we'll take our leave. Just as they were about to go, the third elder suddenly called out, Wait, I'll let Su Xiao go because the second elder's punishment will be far more severe. My intervention is unnecessary. However, the fourth elder is absent, which means this matter falls to me. Qing Xiao turned back, his expression serious. Meanwhile, Suya couldn't help but feel uneasy. After a moment, the third elder stroked his beard and chuckled softly. With an aptitude like yours, you are all indeed noteworthy. If you can pass the aptitude trial here in the scripture pavilion, I will not pursue this matter. What do you say? Hearing this, Suya was stunned. The aptitude trial? What's that? The third elder explained. It is a test to determine one's aptitude, be it high or low. Based on the results, your access rights within the scripture pavilion will be decided. The higher your clearance, the easier it is to borrow high-grade spirit arts or cultivation techniques. After listening, Suya's face grew somber. Her eyes darkened. And if we don't pass? Muyin lowered her head and sighed. Then you can only read a portion of a spirit arts. Often, you might borrow a technique, but have to return it before you've even had a chance to grasp it. Like me, I can only rely on senior sister Luo for guidance. After their discussion, the third elder led Qing Xiao's group away. He ordered, Follow me. Soon, the group arrived before a great, ancient tree. It was wrapped in ropes carved with patterns resembling a crescent moon. Suya stepped forward, pointing at a circle of shimmering, glowing leaves. Her eyes widened. She exclaimed, This thing is beautiful. The third elder explained that this was the trial tree. For aptitude. The more brilliantly the leaves glow, the higher the aptitude. Muyin, you go first and set an example. Muyin bowed her head, sighing. Yes, elder. She stepped forward touching the white plate at the base of the tree. Instantly, spiritual energy enveloped her. Her eyes flew open, a look of helplessness on her face. Sweat trickled down her forehead. The tree trunk began to emit a faint glow. Nothing too impressive. Seeing this, the third elder could only shake his head. Aptitude is graded in 5 tiers. C rank. 5 years a disciple, and she's only at D rank. What a disappointment. With that thought, he turned to Suya. You too, follow her example. Close your eyes and circulate your chi. If you're also just D rank, I won't even bother. Suya stared ahead. Her heart pounded with anxiety. D rank is already so hard. It took senior sister 5 years just to get there. I've only been here for a few days. How can I possibly compare? But she couldn't refuse the elder. After a moment's hesitation, Suya stepped forward to begin the test. Following the sex foundational technique, she drew in spiritual energy, preparing to unleash it. From below, Qingqiu watched, a grimace on his face. TCH. She's sucking up all the spiritual energy again. The moment Suya placed her hand on the tree, its canopy exploded with a brilliant light. And not only that, the spiritual energy around her surged violently. The third elder's eyes went wide, his jaw dropping at the sight. C-rank aptitude. She's only been a disciple for a month, yet she's already surpassed most of the seniors. Beads of sweat poured down his face. He muttered to himself, this level of talent, it's on par with Hanyu, the sect master's own personal disciple. That fourth elder, his luck is simply heaven-defying. The injustice of it all infuriated him. Why don't I ever get that lucky? The rest of us elders train ourselves to the bone, and we still can't hold a candle to the fourth elder. That lazy good-for-nothing. At the thought, the third elder clenched his jaw. He looked up to the heavens, his eyes welling with tears. This is just too cruel. Suya was ecstatic. She turned to Qingqiu. I got a C-rank aptitude. I surpassed senior sister. Qingqiu, did you see that? I beat her. You were amazing, Suya. Qingqiu praised her aloud, but inwardly, he could only manage a bitter smile. Silly girl, your potential doesn't stop here. A test like this is nowhere near enough to reveal your sacred physique. Meanwhile, Yin huddled on the ground, burying her face in her hands, and sobbing uncontrollably. Suya, please stop. You're trying to be helpful, but you're just twisting the knife. The third elder took a deep breath. Calm down. Stay calm. Anger is a demonic impediment, and making excuses is the mark of a slacker. Having composed himself, he turned to Qingqiu. He offered a slight smile and said, it's your turn. At his words, Suya's eyes lit up. Her voice was filled with excitement. Qingqiu, with this testing tree, we'll finally see your true talent. You can't hide it anymore. Feeling cornered, Qingqiu walked forward. He placed his hand on a glowing white plate at the tree's base. He bowed his head and sighed. Every damn test, I have to work my ass off just to suppress my cultivation to rock bottom. He squeezed his eyes shut. Sweat dripped from his brow. This is such a drag. It's exhausting having to slum it in some backwater sect just to pick up girls. If I blow my cover, it's all over. The instant he made contact, a blinding light erupted from the tree. It was even more intense than Suya's. And as it happened, an imposing aura flared from Qingqiu, leaving everyone stunned. Immediately after, a strange power spread out from the ancient tree. Yin stared, her eyes wide. Her mouth hung open. Incredible. The dazzling light blinded Tanya. She had to shield her eyes. A moment later, she peeked out from behind her hand. Her face was beaming. She thought to herself, oh my god, Qingqiu is so incredible. The third elder's face flushed beet red. Sweat poured from him like a waterfall. He muttered to himself, such unheard of aptitude. I can't believe it. Even Hanyu, our genius of a century, took 2 full years to reach this level. Qingqiu stared down at his hands, completely stunned. I swear I did everything I could to hold back. So how did this happen? The 2 girls exchanged a look of disbelief. They couldn't believe their eyes. Together, they cried out, first-class aptitude. Qingqiu, are you really that powerful? Are you an immortal, reborn? No new disciple has ever shattered the sect's 100-year record like this. But hearing their praise only made Qingqiu angrier. He gritted his teeth, his face turning a dark shade of red. You could almost see the steam coming out of his ears. Damn it all. Why is it still glowing so damn bright? He nearly kicked the base of the tree, but managed to restrain himself. His face contorted in frustration. A bead of sweat ran down his temple. Whatever. Anger is an inner demon. Just calm down. With that, Qin Xiu turned to the elder. Elder, are we done yet? Of course. Qin Xiu forced a smile. Then could you please give us our qualification tablets? It's getting late, and we'd like to get back for dinner. The third elder gave a gentle nod. The aptitude tree will release the appropriate jade tablets on its own. Just be patient. As he spoke, he eyed Qin Xiu, lost in thought. To have this much power right after joining the sect. If he develops properly, he could lead our sect to unprecedented glory. After a moment of consideration, the third elder's expression grew solemn. This can't be kept quiet. I must report this to the sect master immediately. A moment later, an ethereal light shone from the tree's canopy. From within, a jade tablet engraved with the character for first grade floated down. Qin Xiu snatched it out of the air. He quickly tucked it away inside his robes, letting out a quiet sigh of relief. He glanced around. The two girls were still chatting away, completely absorbed. Phew, good, they didn't see. The tree lit up once more. Another jade tablet fell, landing in Qin Xiu's palm. This one was Xiaoya's. He gave a quick look, assessing it. A superior-grade jade tablet. It has chi replenishing properties. The sect really spares no expense. Qin Xiu then passed it to Xiaoya. Here's your tablet. She took it, her eyes wide with delight. This is incredible. Qin Xiu stretched his arms wide and let out a huge yawn. Finally, all done. Xiaoya, you said you wanted to find a cultivation manual, right? Let's go. She nodded. Oh, I almost forgot. But as she turned, she was startled to find Yun crying silently. Senior sister, you're all geniuses. But I'm worthless. I don't deserve to be in the inner grounds. Everyone looks down on me. Here, on Qin you peek. I'm the weakest. I want to leave. Suya quickly places her hand on Yun's shoulder. She speaks softly. Senior sister, don't be sad. I was just a little luckier. You can still work hard. Yun sighs. When we first joined, you said the same thing. In our second year, our third year, and even 5 years ago, it was the same. She looks up, tears streaming down her face. You didn't say it this year, but the result is still the same. I really am an idiot. Qin Xiu walks over, one hand on his hip, the other scratching his head. The whole point of the aptitude test at the library pavilion, as you well know, senior sister, is to rank the techniques to motivate disciples to improve. If you're always stuck at the ding rank, you'll never be able to borrow the techniques you want. He presents his own jade token. My authority at the E rank is pretty high. So whatever technique you want, senior sister, I'll get it for you. Qin Xiu, you really want to help me? Qin Xiu nods. Of course. Hearing this, Yun clenches her fists. She looks up at Qin Xiu, her eyes filled with emotion. Without a moment's hesitation, she throws her arms around him in a tight embrace, smothering his face with her generous bust. Whoa, they're so big. This feeling is indescribable. Seeing this, Suya clutches her head and lets out a frustrated cry. Hey, senior sister. A short while later, Qin Xiu enters the E-rank section of the library pavilion. He gently rubs his nose, his cheeks still flushed, and mutters to himself. The scent of a young woman is really intoxicating. Whoever is lucky enough to marry second senior sister in the future is one lucky guy. At that thought, he quickly shuts his eyes and shakes his head repeatedly. No. That last thought was way out of line. Qin Xiu walks down an aisle between the bookshelves, holding a piece of paper. He reads from it. Jade water art. White lotus immortal method. Beautiful fox art. Let's see what these are all about. Jade body art. For tempering the body. It reduces fat and preserves beauty. The white lotus immortal method nourishes the skin, making it fair and smooth, and also conceals scars. After reading the descriptions, he thinks with a sense of helplessness. They asked me to find these. I thought they were cultivation techniques for strengthening the body. Who knew they were all just secret beauty manuals? Women, I swear. Suddenly, Qin Xiu's eyes widen. He stares intently at one of the scrolls, his face flushing red. Increases charm and makes male cultivators fall hopelessly in love. It even includes the 72 positions of dual cultivation. After reading, he glances to the side. a faint smile playing on his lips. I wonder who wanted this one. Suya, or Senior Sister Union. I never thought they'd be into something so indecent. He carefully rolls the scroll back up and ties it neatly. He lets out a soft laugh and a sigh. This technique is actually pretty interesting. I'll take it back for research. It might come in handy. After all, a man has to know how to protect himself from seductive demonesses. Then, Qingxiu glances at the shelf next to him. Only a single, solitary book remains on it. He stares at it, his expression blank with surprise. It looks tattered and worn, but for it to be placed here, it must be powerful. Trespassing. Without a second thought, he stepped forward and reached for it. This is a bit much. Let me give it a try. But before he could touch it, a formation array materialized, blocking his path. It stopped him in his tracks. Qingxiu was stunned. A protective formation? Maybe you need a certain level of cultivation to touch it. But with his spirit transformation realm cultivation, he only needed a single move to have the book in his hand. He opened it. He read it carefully. The contents were far more profound than any other spirit manual. Even though it was an incomplete manual, it wouldn't affect the initial stages of cultivation. This would be perfect for Xiaoya. The scene suddenly shifts. A fist of light flashes in someone's hand. On the training grounds, countless disciples were lost in their practice. Their eyes were filled with determination. A male disciple slowly closed his eyes, then opened them. He looked ahead and whispered, "This speed, it really stands out among the new disciples. Maybe I'll even catch the master's eye." Just then, everyone stopped and looked up at the sky. Someone was flying on a sword. While many stared in awe, an annoyed male disciple strode forward. He snapped, "What are you all gawking at? Get back to your training." After saying his piece, he glared, his face darkening. His gaze was fixed on the figure high above. A voice cried out, "That's Fairy Hanyu." A moment later, Hanyu descended onto the center of the training platform. The male disciples couldn't take their eyes off her. They buzzed with excitement. She's a true celestial beauty, worthy of the name Fairy. Senior Sister Hanyu. My life's goal is to protect Senior Sister. Hanyu maintained a serious expression. Her mind was already at work. 3 months of hard cultivation. My cultivation level has advanced again. I wonder if I can finally get that spirit manual. She stepped into the scripture pavilion. She muttered, "What's so special about that incomplete manual that he values it so much?" He even set up a formation array around it. Even with my cultivation, I can't break through it. Hanyu turned her head. Her eyes widened in shock. The incomplete manual was gone. Could someone have taken it? She walked over and touched the shelf. There aren't many people strong enough to enter the B-level area, and their cultivation is far weaker than mine. She turned around, a suspicion growing in her heart. Could someone's cultivation have skyrocketed? Who could it be? Hanyu strode out, her gaze fixed on the front desk, where a male disciple was working in front of a crowd. The disciple turned and was startled to see Hanyu. Fairy Hanyu. H, how can I help you?" She pushed through the crowd and slammed her hand on the counter. Her voice was furious. "Before I got here, who entered the B-level area? I just took over for Su Xiao. I don't know who was in there," he replied, dropping a book in the process. Sweat beaded on his forehead. A new disciple did register to check out a spirit manual. Based on its rank, it might have been from the B-level area. Hearing this, Hanyu stroked her chin. Her eyes filled with curiosity. "A new disciple? Can I see the registration log?" The male disciple immediately obliged, checking the register. "Yes, ma'am. This way, Senior Sister." She took it. Her expression was serious. "In terms of seniority, you could just call me Senior Sister. Even the fourth elder doesn't call herself a fairy. I'm hardly worthy of such a title." With that, Hanyu flipped through the pages of the register, checking it carefully. Sure enough, the name of a disciple who borrowed the book was Yun Qingxiu. To be able to enter Area B and get his hands on an incomplete manual, he must be no ordinary person. But I've never heard that name since I joined the sect. After a moment of thought, she turned to ask the male disciple, "Who exactly is this Yun Qingxiu? Is he some kind of hidden genius?" "Well, Senior Sister, Yun Qingxiu is a new disciple who just joined this year." Hanyu was slightly taken aback. A new disciple was allowed into Area B? Which elder brought him in? The male disciple quickly wiped the sweat from his brow. Actually, he has a special ability. He even defeated Su Xiao just a little while ago. After that, the third elder took him away. The male disciple cupped his hands and recounted the entire event in great detail. After listening, Hanyu gently stroked her chin in thought. To defeat an elder's direct disciple after only a month in the sect. Even I couldn't have done that back in the day. She fell silent, muttering the name Yin Qingxiu under her breath. Meanwhile, Qingxiu, who was on his way back with the books, let out a loud sneeze. It startled a bird sleeping on a nearby branch. He wiped his nose, a clueless look on his face. Who was just talking about me? A short while later, Qingxiu, Yinyun, and Xiaoyu were on the training platform, studying the manuals. Qingxiu rested his chin in his hand, his gaze fixed on Xiaoyu, who was reading intently. He sighed to himself. She's so focused, just like my female disciple from all those years ago. She'd get so absorbed in the beauty-nourishing spirit art that she'd forget to even eat. At that thought, Qingxiu propped himself up and looked at the sky. We still haven't eaten dinner. You two should go get something ready. Are you hungry already, Xiaoqiu? Just hold on a little longer. I'm almost done reading, then I'll go cook. Tanya remained engrossed in the book. She nodded. That's right. Just a little bit longer. Qingxiu moved closer and took Xiaoyu's hand. He whined. Xiaoyu, I'm starving. Once your cultivation reaches a certain level, your body's foundation will naturally change. Your appearance will too. Why do you even need to learn this stuff? Hearing this, Xiaoyu closed her eyes and sighed. You men will never understand how a woman feels. Exactly. Qingxiu clutched his chest and lamented dramatically. You're both ganging up on me again. The agony. Seeing this, Tanya rolled up the technique scroll and tied it neatly. All right. You complain like an old man. I'll stop reading. It's not like I can finish it all in one sitting anyway. I'm just lucky to have you and seen your sister. Otherwise, I never would have known about such a profound spirit art. That's right. We're so lucky to have Xiaoqiu. I've been wanting to learn this jade water art for so long. Qingxiu looked intently at the two of them and asked, So, how are you two planning to repay me? Xiaoyu shot him a sidelong glance, her voice dropping. So, how do you want me to thank you? Go on, tell me. Qingxiu clasped his hands together, pretending to be eager. But before he could speak, Xiaoyu raised a hand to stop him. Singing is off the table. I'm not going to sing for you ever again. I can't. Then what do you want? Qingxiu lowered his head, thinking to himself, this girl is getting sharper and sharper. She figured out what I was thinking so easily. His eyes unconsciously drifted to Xiaoya's smooth, pale thighs. Her soft figure filled his vision. After staring for a moment, Qingxiu gave a suggestive smile, a glint in his eyes. All right, I've got an idea. He sprawled out, feigning exhaustion. My head hurts a little. Could you give me a little massage? Tanya asked in surprise. A headache? Qingxiu clutched his head, turning away. As he admitted, yeah, I haven't been sleeping well lately. My head feels all dizzy. Xiaoyu chuckled softly. She walked over and placed her hand on his chest. It's not a massage you're after. You want to use my lap as a pillow, don't you? She said with a smile, her cheeks flushing. Oh, all right. Come here. Tanya sat down, neatly arranging her fair legs. You can rest your head here, but just for a little while. Without the slightest hesitation, Qingxiu immediately rested his head on her lap. He praised inwardly. Young girls really are the best. Tanya glanced at him, then lightly poked his forehead. Don't get any funny ideas. Yunyun sat beside them, resting her chin in her hand as she looked on, pondering. I want to repay him too, but how? Then she noticed the plate of chilled watermelon next to Xiaoyu. She gasped softly. I've got it. Yunyun picked up the watermelon plate and offered a small piece to Qingxiu. Xiaoqiu, let me feed you. Consider it my way of thanking you. Qingxiu opened his mouth to take it, chewing contentedly, his eyes half closed. He thought, so delicious, compared to being some ascetic, immortal venerable. This is the life. Xiaoyu gently wiped a stray piece of watermelon from Qingxiu's lips. She smiled softly. Eat slowly. Qingxiu's eyes glazed over as he stared intently at the thighs beneath his head. He mused. Now, this is the divine life I've always dreamed of. Yunyun then offered another piece of watermelon to Xiaoyu. Smiling. Junior sister Ya, you have some too. Xiaoyu accepted it, her cheeks turning red. She thought, Qingxiu just used this. If I use it now, isn't that like an indirect kiss? Yunyun enjoyed a piece of watermelon herself, exclaiming, and it's so cold and refreshing. Qingxiu looked at Yunyun, and a thought sparked in his mind. An indirect kiss with two lovely girls in the span of a moment. This senior sister of mine is just too cute. At this thought, tears streamed down his face. Yin Qingxiu, would rather die eating watermelon than ever go back to Boundless Valley. Night fell. Qingxiu shot bolt upright, hurriedly wiping his tears away. A seed of mischief. Now this is the life. Some music would make this perfect. Hearing this, Yunyun placed a hand on her chest. A brilliant smile spread across her face. Little Chiu, what would you like to hear? Senior sister, your singing is pretty good. I know every song there is. Qingxiu looked at Yunyun, his heart filled with joy. She must think I'm an idiot. But I have my own tastes, you know. Then sing. The Grand and Mighty March. Yunyun's eyes widened in surprise. That song? I think I've heard it somewhere before. As soon as the words left her mouth, she began to sing. Xiaoya rushed to stop her, but it was too late. She screamed, Senior sister, don't sing it. Stop. Her cry echoed through the forest. In the sky above, Hanyu was flying by on her sword. She glanced down. Yin Qingxiu. This guy is really something else. Could he be a once-in-a-generation genius? As she pondered this, Hanyu's eyes went wide. Qingyu peek. Since I'm already here, I should go take a look. What am I waiting for? With that, she descended on her sword toward the sound of Yunyun's singing. But when she saw the scene below, she broke out in a cold sweat. What in the world? Qingxiu was pinned down by Xiaoya. Meanwhile, Yunyun was lying on her back. Her face beet red, steam practically rising from her head, still singing her heart out. The sight was enough to make even Hanyu feel awkward. I never imagined Yin Qingxiu was such a degenerate. With that thought, she immediately turned to leave. It's best not to get involved in this kind of mess. I'm out of here. Xiaoya shot Qingxiu a furious glare. Then she snapped. Senior sister, how can you be so naive? That bastard tells you to sing, and you just do it? Didn't you even think about what you were singing? Yunyun lowered her head in embarrassment, covering her mouth with her sleeve. I was so happy about getting the spirit art I wanted. I completely forgot what the song was about. A moment later, Xiaoya stood up. She grabbed Qingxiu by the head and yelled, Apologize to senior sister. Now, little senior sister, I'm so sorry. Qingxiu, you've gone too far. Senior sister won't even look at you now. But Xiaoya, I was just joking. I didn't think she'd actually sing it. Saying that, Qingxiu looked up at the sky. Okay, best way out of this is to change the subject fast. Hey, you two, look. Who's that standing over there? Up above, Hanyu heard him. She froze for a solid 5 seconds. A bead of sweat trickled down her face. Looks like there's no getting out of this. She descended to the ground, appearing before them with a stern, emotionless expression. Before Qingxiu could even react, he turned to Xiaoya and asked in a serious tone, Is that the sect master's direct disciple? Yes, and she's also his future successor. Hanyu, hearing this, Qingxiu fell silent. His gaze shifted away. Eep, I heard she was completely dedicated to her cultivation. She rarely ever makes an appearance. Yunyun steps forward. She clasps her hands in a respectful salute. Senior sister Hanyu, what brings you to Qingyu Peak? Yunyun lowers her head. Her face is pale. A sense of unease fills her. I've never heard of her visiting another peak. And now she's here. Could it be that Qingyu Peak's performance has been so poor that she's come to deliver bad news? Oh, this is bad. Our senior sister isn't here. And I'm the one in charge right now, but I have no idea how to handle this. I just hope nothing goes wrong. Hanyu ignores Yunyun's words. She turns to look directly at Qingxiu. You must be junior brother Yin Qingxiu, correct? That's right. That's me. So pure and beautiful. How does a beauty like her even know who I am? Hanyu gestures behind her. She speaks. Yin Qingxiu, I have a private matter to discuss with you. Could you come with me to that small forest over there? Hearing this, Xiaoya's expression darkens. Her heart fills with suspicion. A private matter? In a small forest, no less? Could it be? At the thought, she begins to tremble with rage. She turns to confront him. Qingxiu, when did you start sneaking around with this pretty senior sister behind my back? After saying her piece, Xiaoya glares at Hanyu. She forces a smile. You really are beautiful, sister. But you and I have never met. So why are you saying things that are so easily misunderstood? Without a second thought, Qingxiu bows to Hanyu. a fawning smile on his face. I'm sorry. Truly my apologies. She's on a whole other level. When in doubt, start with a compliment. With that said, he scratches his head. My apologies, but it's a little inconvenient for us right now. Could you just say what you need to say right here, senior sister? Hearing this, Hanyu raises a hand. She speaks slowly. Very well. There is a sealed, incomplete manual in the archives that you borrowed, junior brother. I happen to be very interested in it. I was wondering if you would be willing to study it with me. The moment she finishes, Xiaoya's face, standing behind him, goes black. Her voice turns sharp. So, the great fairy wants to cultivate a spirit manual together? Qingqiu, what did you manage to capture her heart? I must have been far too careless. Wait, just hear me out. Qingqiu is on the verge of tears. My lady, those two sentences dealt critical damage to my pride. Suya holds up the incomplete manual. She turns and offers a polite smile. My apologies, senior sister Hanyu. I am currently studying this spirit manual. It's not convenient to share it right now. If there is nothing else, we won't keep you any longer. Hanyu strokes her chin thoughtfully for a moment, then nods. It's fine for you two to continue your training. Then, she points to the right. Junior brother, could you come with me to the small forest over there for a moment? I want to test your abilities. Hearing this, Qingqiu glances over at Xiaoya. She's flushed red from head to toe, shaking with fury. Don't mention the small forest again. Xiaoya's about to explode. Spare me, please. This is absolutely terrifying. Suya's face darkens. She scoffs to herself. She just keeps trying to drag him into the woods. She's definitely up to something. With that thought, she flexed her wrist. A sharp, cold smile spread across her face. If you're itching for a fight, senior sister, I'd be happy to oblige. Don't look down on me just because my talent isn't as good as that kid's. Oh boy, she's even calling him that kid now. He is really mad. But what could she do? Hanyu naively accepted the offer, completely missing the hidden meaning in her words. And so, you took the lead, striding forward. This way, senior sister. Yinyan watched them go. She stared straight ahead. What in the world is going on? They just said a few words, and now they're ready to fight? Do those two have some kind of history? With that, she turned to Qingqiu. He was a nervous wreck. His face was pale. Qingqiu, what do we do? They're about to fight. I don't know either. Don't ask me. Suya backed away into an open clearing. She spread her arms in a welcoming gesture. Whenever you're ready, senior sister Han. Yinyan looked up. Sweat beaded on her brow. Qingqiu, shouldn't we try to stop them? This is the first time I've ever seen you this angry. Qingqiu bowed his head and covered his face. Helpless. Senior sister, you're only just now noticing? Look at her. You think I dare try to talk her down? Hearing that, Yinyan snapped. This is all your fault. You and your flirting got her all worked up. Senior sister, don't just say things like that. The most I ever do is go out to read. Then Qingqiu pointed toward Hanyu. His face was a mask of misery. When would I have time for someone who's constantly in seclusion? A mirror-like hand struck down. Even in her anger, Suya stared straight ahead, unblinking. Her gaze was like a knife. I'm only at the Qi refining realm. I heard you've already reached the core formation realm, senior sister. With such a huge gap between us, I hope you won't take advantage of your strength. Hanyu glanced at her and replied curtly. I'll lower my cultivation to match yours. Hearing this, a devilish smirk crept onto Ya's lips. She immediately channeled her power. Thank you for your generosity, senior sister. Then forgive me for not holding back. The moment the words left her mouth, she condensed a swirling ball of spiritual energy in her palm and launched several powerful streams of force straight at Hanyu. Hanyu simply leaned to the side. She dodged the blow with ease, but the force suddenly converged behind her. It morphed into a razor-sharp icicle. Realizing it, she glanced back. Her expression darkened. Turning around, she saw countless shards of ice hurtling toward her like rain. First, she formed water blades to force me to evade. Then she broke them down into smaller shards. How treacherous. If it weren't for my deep experience and sharp senses, I probably would have fallen for that. With that thought, Hanyu immediately spun around. A bright wave of energy shot back toward you. It forced her to raise both hands to block. The full force counterattack pushed you back several steps. She gritted her teeth. Her eyes were wide, staring intently ahead. At Hanyu, who was now closing in like a bolt of lightning. A ribbon of flame erupted behind her. Han Yu focused spiritual energy into her fist. The strike grew heavier. Even if she dodges this one, the next will be hard to escape. If she handles this clumsily, she'll definitely be injured. Thinking fast, yet gathered a stream of white energy between her hands. Her eyes were resolute. I can't lose. Han Yu maintained her attack. She looked at her, thinking, you already know the difference in our strength. So why are you being so stubborn? Even using spiritual arts and martial techniques to counter, it was hard to stop her precise attacks. The two girls clashed with ferocious intensity. Behind her back, Han Yu began to gather another surge of energy at her fingertips. Then, with a powerful palm strike, she forced Tanya back. She didn't stop there. Han Yu closed in again. A single powerful blow sent Tanya sprawling. Han Yu stared ahead, her expression grim and serious. Her technique was impeccable. Just before the strike landed, she detonated her spiritual energy, using the blast to propel herself away. After regaining her composure, she charged forward again with renewed vigor. Skillfully, she pressed on relentlessly. Once more, the two girls faced off and clashed. Yin watched with worry, seeing how strong Tanya was. She can go head-to-head with Han Yu. Please, let her be okay. I never expected her aptitude to be this high. She must be badly hurt by now. Han Yu continued her assault without pause. She drove her knee into Tanya's arm, causing a flash of intense pain. She squeezed her eyes shut and gritted her teeth. After that blow, Tanya was thrown back, sent flying. Her body wavered, her strength drained. She was nearing her limit. Tanya panted heavily, exhaustion etched on her face. I can't lose. That was her only thought. Her eyes flashed with determination. An aura of power surged from her body. Chio trembled, wrapping her arms around herself. It's happening again. She's absorbing spiritual energy again. She absorbs it when she trains, and she absorbs it when she fights. Her body is already so weak. She needs to rest. She can't keep this up. The two of them unleashed their ultimate techniques. One, a blinding flash of lightning. The other, a ferocious gale. They crashed into each other, creating a violent shockwave. Tanya's cultivation is still weak. If she overexerts herself, it will damage her body. At this rate, her life will be in danger. I have to stop them. Stop. That's enough fighting. Chio rushed forward. She threw out a hand, striking Han Yu, while grabbing hold of Tanya's wrist. The force of the blow sent Han Yu stumbling back. That's enough. Stop it. Chio gently pulled Tanya into an embrace, soothing her tenderly. It's okay. Let's stop now. At that moment, the spiritual seal in Tanya's dantian began to absorb Chio's spiritual energy. What a pain. The closer I hold her, the more it drains. Tanya rested her head against Chio's chest, sweat beading on her brow. She asked with difficulty, why did you stop me? Did you think I couldn't beat her? Chio gently stroked Tanya's hair, comforting her. It's getting late. You still have to cultivate tonight. You need a rest now. How about you call me Big Sis? Who's your Big Sis? You're so annoying. Fine. Then I'll just call you my darling Tanya. Hearing this, Tanya blushed and pushed Chio away. Oomph. You're shameless. Tanya peeked over Han Yu. She was still staring intently at her fist. Just now, a powerful pressure made my own energy stall. If not for that, Tanya would have been defeated. To think someone at the chi refining stage could make me feel that. With that thought, Han Yu turned and left, leaving a fuming Tanya behind. It's already late. We should be heading back. Sparring with your junior sister was quite interesting. I expect you to keep this up. Don't waste your talent. I never said I lost. And I don't need a lecture. At that, Han Yu let out a small smile. She brushed her hair from her face, her eyes landing on the confident junior sister. I hope you have a brilliant future in our sect. With her final words, Han Yu leaped onto her sword and departed. On the ground below, Chio sighed. She's finally gone. I hope she doesn't come back. It's always a headache when she's around. Just then, Xiaoyu came over and pinched Chio's cheek. Fess up. What's the deal between you and her? You got it all wrong. I never even met Han Yu before today. Chio took her hand. He continued. She came for the spirit art, but I already gave it to you. Hearing this, Xiaoyu's face flushed bright red. She quickly pulled her hand away. Fine, whatever. I get it. She turned and stalked off, leaving Chio stunned. That's weird. Why were her ears so red? That night, Xiaoya tossed and turned in her bed. Ugh, why did I overreact like that? She hugged her pillow, rolling back and forth. Her face was burning up. I used to worry that idiot would never find anyone to marry. But now, the moment someone else shows up, I get jealous like crazy. She suddenly shot upright. Raising her fist, she yelled, "This is so frustrating. It feels like something I've treasured for years is being stolen away," she said, clenching her fist tightly. "I have to stay closer to him. I won't let anyone else have him." Early the next morning, a voice called out from outside Qin Qiu's door. "Hey kid, get out here and train with me." Qin Qiu yanked the door open, an annoyed expression on his face. He was about to refuse, but when he saw Xiaoya standing before him, he froze. She was wearing a stunning new outfit, but her expression was stormy. "Right, sparring with my dear junior sister is just so much fun. Even though I'm exhausted, I guess I have to go." At the sex training grounds, Xiaoya stood before a training dummy, relentlessly throwing powerful punches. Qin Qiu watched her quietly, not saying a word. He thought to himself, "She's so hot-headed, but I'll take this over real trouble any day." With that thought, Qin Qiu walked over and transferred some of his spiritual energy to Xiaoya. "Your energy flow is all over the place. You're favoring your left side too much. It's an obvious weak spot." Taking his words to heart, Xiaoya immediately adjusted her stance. She threw a straight left, making the training dummy shudder violently. "Better, but you're still too slow. You need more practice." The surrounding disciples gasped in amazement. "Our pure, innocent goddess." A male disciple glanced at the guy in the tank top behind her and sighed. "Some guys get to laugh and train with a beautiful girl, while I'm stuck practicing with this weakling. This is so depressing." Another group of male disciples watched the scene, tears streaming down their faces. "Why does a guy like that get all the luck? We barely got to admire the beauty before she was snatched up by someone who can possibly understand our pain." Just then, Xiaoya unleashed a punch with all her might. The training dummy snapped in half. A cloud of dust and splinters filled the air. Seeing her success, Xiaoya was ecstatic. "I finally did it." Without a second thought, she rushed over and threw her arms around Qin Qiu. "My Xiaoya is truly amazing." At his words, her face went crimson. She quickly pushed him away and looked up indignantly. "Who said you could call me that?" At that moment, the crowd of young disciples parted. A chorus of cheers erupted. "It's Fairy Hanyu." Instantly, all eyes turned toward Hanyu, shining with awe and admiration. "It's really her. She's even more beautiful than the rumors say. She's appeared 2 days in a row. Am I dreaming?" Hearing their words, Xiaoya's anger flared. She stepped forward, shielding Qin Qiu. The young man behind her was stunned, with no idea what was happening. Hanyu descended from the sky, landing amidst the crowd of disciples. She sheathed her sword. Her gaze was ice-cold, her face an emotionless mask. Then, she glided past the male disciples, who erupted into wild cheers. The celestial fairy who only shows herself once every 6 months has appeared 2 days in a row. We're so lucky. I had no idea I was so popular. Everyone, step aside. Hanyu calmly approached the spot where Xiaoya and Qin Qiu were standing. At that moment, Qin Qiu was still blissfully unaware. Standing behind Xiaoya, he was taking in the scent of her hair. A girl's fragrance is truly intoxicating. Just then, Hanyu's figure came into view, leaving Qin Qiu completely stunned. Holy crap! With no time to think, Qin Qiu quickly stepped forward. Reaching out, he called to Xiaoya. "We should get going. Let's go." "Why? It's still early." He leaned close to her ear and whispered, "Actually, the new chapter of Immortal Venerable just dropped. I want to go back and read it." "Oh, is that all? No big deal." Qin Qiu turned back. He forced a smile. "Come on, let's head back." "All right. Okay." He glanced over at Hanyu, thinking to himself, "Phew, that was close. Everything's fine. Any slower and it would have been a disaster." But before they could leave, Hanyu called out, "Qin Qiu." Hearing his name, Qin Qiu broke into a cold sweat and looked back. Shai was also surprised. Was she planning now? Xiaoya turned her head, her hand stroking her chin. She smiled brightly, but her eyes were like ice. "Qin Qiu." The young man immediately turned to look at her. He was sweating bullets. What in the world is going on? Then he raised a hand, waving awkwardly. "I honestly have no idea. Why would the great Hanyu come all the way here?" As he wondered this, he looked at her and pointed to himself. He laughed nervously. Senior sister, are you looking for me? I went to Euphone Peak to find you this morning. A junior sister said you were here, so I came. I apologize for interrupting your training, junior brother. But I was restless all night. In the end, I have to admit, I'm intrigued by you. Yin Qing Xiao, you give me a strange feeling I just can't shake. Hearing this, the crowd of male disciples went pale. Sweat dripped from their faces. What? The celestial fairy is interested in Yin Qing Xiao. What is happening? Meanwhile, Xiaoya's blood was boiling. She gritted her teeth and whispered, Qing Xiao, what do you think of this? He held up his hands, a look of utter confusion on his face. His eyes were wide. Believe me, I'm just as confused as you are. He then turned his gaze to Hanyu and asked her directly, Senior Sister Han, what is it you really want? Nothing at all. Just come with me to the forest over there. At her words, Qing Xiao turned his head. He saw Xiaoya tense up, her aura flaring with anger. Senior sister, if you have something to say, just say it plainly. The forest again? Does he think he's the star of Guiyuan Immortal Mountain? Hanyu's gaze remained fixed on him. She got straight to the point. My visit last night was unsuccessful. Today I want to try again. Is that acceptable? Hearing this, the surrounding disciples were stunned. Her visit failed last night, and she wants to try again? Is the great fairy really offering herself to him? Qing Xiao covered his face with one hand. He held out the other. His voice was heavy. Fine. Fine. You just want to fight, right? I accept. Just promise you'll stop bothering me after this. With that, he channeled qi into his wrist. His cold gaze locked on Hanyu. He lowered his voice. Bring it on. Hanyu smiled with confidence. I'll suppress my cultivation level. You won't get hurt, so just fight me without holding back. A cunning smile flickered across Qing Xiao's face. Oh, don't worry. I'll be giving it my all. He thought to himself. There's no point in dragging this out. I need to end this fast. Besides, Hanyu is a battle junkie. She probably just wants to test my strength. As Qing Xiao lunged forward, Hanyu's expression turned serious. Her hands flew through a series of seals, condensing a brilliant orb of light. In an instant, she launched the orb straight at him. Qing Xiao didn't back down an inch. He thrust both hands forward. A violent gale erupted to meet Han Yu's attack head-on. The two forces collided, creating a massive explosion as Han Yu's spiritual energy burst forth. She was knocked back several steps. Raising her hands to brace herself, she quickly regained her footing. Then, she shot toward Qing Xiao at lightning speed. Qing Xiao didn't hesitate. He poured all his strength into a single punch. A wave of white light flooded the area. Han Yu barely had time to frown, throwing her hands up to block. The crowd of disciples watched with wide, terrified eyes. One of them exclaimed, He's actually that strong, so he didn't beat Su Xiao by pure luck after all. Han Yu glared, as Qing Xiao's attacks rained down relentlessly. She struggled to parry them. Sweat beaded on her forehead. She thought, so he really has mastered the Imperial Wind Art. I can't believe a master-level spirit art is this overwhelming. With that thought, she summoned a brown sword. Her eyes glinted with excitement. This is getting interesting. Yin Qing Xiao. She swung her sword. A powerful blade of qi slashed downward, clashing directly with Qing Xiao's attack. She then lunged forward again and again. Each strike aimed straight at her opponent's chest. Down on the training grounds, Xiaoya watched intently. The fierce battle reflected in her wide eyes. Waves of terrifying energy washed over the area, making the disciples and Xiaoya extremely anxious. Hanyu was once again forced back by Qing Xiao's gale. Her face was tense. She stared at the swirling golden qi. You beat Su Xiao when you were only in the qi refining realm. At this rate, you could probably take on someone at the Foundation Establishment realm. After speaking, she flipped her sword into a reverse grip. Clenching her other hand into a fist, she charged. In a flash, her fist was aimed straight for his face. Strangely, this time, Qing Xiao didn't dodge. He took the hit head-on. He was thrown back, flying through the air with a loud cry. His body crashed to the ground, gouging a deep crater in the earth. The area immediately fell silent. Hanyu broke out in a cold sweat. She thought, that was just a light punch. How'd he get sent flying that far? He was clearly more than capable of dodging it. Qing Xiao slowly pushes himself up from the crater. He gives a thumbs up and a friendly smile. As expected of senior sister Han. I concede. You have my utmost respect. Hanyu still couldn't believe it. She looked down at her own hand. How did I send him flying? Like that? I never imagined a match would end this way. While she was still lost in thought, Qin Xiu flashed a triumphant smirk. This is exactly the outcome I wanted. If I hadn't taken that hit head on, she never would have bought it. I had to take a fall in this fight. It was the only way to make her accept it. Suya rushed over in a panic. Qin Xiu, are you okay? Are you seriously hurt? He replied softly. It's nothing to worry about. Luckily, senior sister Han went easy on me. I'm fine. Hearing this, Xiaoya glared angrily at Hanyu. How could you hit him so hard? Qin Xiu let out a faint cough, giving her a signal. She immediately turned back to him, supporting him in her arms. Does it hurt a lot? If you can't stand it, you can bite my hand. Hanyu, standing nearby, watched them closely before speaking up. Let me examine him. But Xiaoya instantly slapped her hand away. She shouted, Stay away from him. A flash of anger crossed Hanyu's face. Her icy gaze bore down on the girl. The defiant young woman grabbed Qin Xiu's wrist to check his pulse. She found his meridians in chaos. Qin Xiu's eyes were closed. He glanced to the side, thinking, my acting skills are far beyond her comprehension. Hanyu quickly produced a medicine vial from her sleeve. This is Azure Dew. It treats external injuries. Take it, and you'll recover. Suya's eyes widened in surprise. That's the rare second-grade spirit medicine. In our sect, only the elders are permitted to use it. After handing over the medicine, Hanyu turned to leave. She added one last thing. If anything happens, come find me at Yunshi Peak. I will take full responsibility. Suya uncapped the vial. A thought crossed her mind. Take full responsibility? Could she mean it that way? She took out a single pill and placed it in Qin Xiu's mouth. Then, she helped him stand. He spoke softly. Thank you, senior sister. We'll be on our way now. At his words, Hanyu only turned her head slightly, letting out a helpless sigh. Back in his room, Suya took a washcloth, wrung it out, and began to gently wipe the dirt and blood from Qin Xiu's wounds. She looked at him, her expression full of worry. But there was frustration in her eyes. You're such an idiot. Why would you duel Hanyu? She's on a whole other level. How could you possibly win against her? Qin Xiu took her hand. He smiled. If I didn't do something, she would have never left me alone. Could it be that you're jealous? He had hit a nerve. Her cheeks flushed crimson. Her eyes flew open in embarrassment. She whirled around and slapped him so hard his head snapped to the side. What are you talking about? I'm not jealous at all. Don't be ridiculous. If you're really not jealous, then why did you get so mad when Hanyu came near me? At his question, Xiaoya's eyes went wide. Flustered. I'm just worried about you. You're so naive and clueless. You're nowhere near her level. How many disciples and elders in the sect do you think would be against it? If she doesn't even care about you, aren't you just getting your hopes up for nothing? I'm just looking out for you. It's nothing. Just seeing Hanyu is a blessing. Getting close to her would be an even greater fortune. After all, she's the #1 goddess in our sect. Before Qin Xiu could finish, Xiaoya jabbed him in the ribs. He clutched his side, rolling around on the bed. Cough, cough. You've gravely wounded me. The pain. After rolling around for a moment, he shot straight up and yelled. I can't believe how cruel you are. Are you trying to murder your own husband? Is this payback for something? Hearing this, Xiaoya decided to play along. Her eyes widened in mock horror. Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. With that, she placed a hand on her cheek. Her expression turned dead serious. I promise, I'll never dare to mention her again. If my hand slipped and I actually killed my husband, I'd be left all alone in this empty room. I'd have to spend my days washing my face with my own tears. She moved closer to Qin Xiu. My dear husband, if you're in so much pain, then stop chasing after other women. How could you say that? What kind of wife has no concern for her husband? At his words, Xiaoya's brow furrowed. Her face darkened. My dear husband must have drunk some cheap wine if you think I wouldn't dare to strike, or that I couldn't afford a little poison. There. Let me go make you a nice, fragrant bowl of chicken soup. You'll feel much better after you drink it. Qin Xiu shivered. He didn't dare say another word. But as she was leaving the room, he grinned and called after her. I want a hen. And make sure to add plenty of herbs. All right. You just lie there and be a good boy. Qin Xiu laid down obediently on the bed. He twiddled his thumbs in anticipation. His mouth watered just thinking about the chicken soup. Xiaoya's cooking was simply divine. Not long after, Xiaoya returned with a steaming, fragrant bowl of soup. Qing Qiu practically drooled at the sight of it. Oh man, that smells incredible. Xiaoya scooped up a spoonful. She blew on it to cool it down, then offered it to him. Drink up while it's hot. The chicken soup Xiaoya made was the best. Chicken leg, greens, mushrooms, it had everything. I can't believe I got rewarded with chicken soup just for play acting. Qing Qiu slurped down the spoonful. A rich, savory flavor spread through his mouth. A girl who can cook like this is a perfect 10. No complaints here. This is the life. Hith hith. Xiaoya sat across from him. She smiled gently and called out softly. Qing Qiu. She placed a hand on her chest. Her voice was firm. For someone at Han Yu's cultivation level to be paying attention to that incomplete manual, does it mean it's really that powerful? Qing Qiu tore off a piece of chicken. He glanced at her and replied, "It's decent. If you master it, you won't need to change your cultivation method for a long, long time. But it's also a huge pain in the ass." Hearing that, Xiaoya beamed. "Then I'll listen to you. For now, I'll stop worrying about those beauty techniques. I'm going to focus on raising my cultivation level first. After all, this idiot still needs me to look after and protect him." In the days that followed, outside of her regular cultivation, Xiaoya spent most of her time studying the incomplete manual. One afternoon, as Yin Yin was returning from gathering herbs, she happened to see Xiaoya completely absorbed in her task. A jolt of shock went through her. How is that possible? She actually resisted the temptation of the beauty technique? That sight strengthened Yin Yun's resolve to research that same spiritual technique with even greater intensity. Meanwhile, Qing Qiu lay in his room. He was trembling from head to toe. His face was ghostly pale, racked with weakness. Accursed technique. Suya drains my spiritual energy every single day. At this rate, I'm going to die. He pictured himself foaming at the mouth, dead. How terrifying. I have to find a way out of this. Now, at that moment, in a hidden corner of Qing Yu Peak, Qing Qiu activated a magic formation. He glanced back once before continuing. He channeled his spiritual energy into the Bagua array etched on the ground. An immense power pressed down on him. The quiet sky suddenly ripped open. Sparks of electricity appeared, gradually gathering together to form a colossal bolt of lightning. It crashed down upon Qing Qiu, causing an earth-shaking explosion. Amid the brilliant light, an ice phoenix materialized. It beat its majestic wings, and as it soared into the sky, the form of a sleeping girl appeared in its wake. Her delicate, bare feet touched the ground. A moment later, her face came into view. She was a petite, lovely, and utterly adorable young girl. A few seconds passed. She opened her eyes, still looking dazed. Who summoned me? Besides Master. No one should be able to. She glanced around. This is strange. Where am I? Oh, great. Why is it him? Just send me back already. Hearing a voice, she turned her head. Her eyes widened as she stared at the person before her, and she whispered, "Master," she said irritably. "No, that's not right. My master isn't like this." She still didn't seem to grasp the truth. "This is so annoying. Why do all you humans look so alike? I can't even tell the difference." She stepped closer. Her eyes were glued to his face, making him flustered. "It's not me. You've got the wrong person." But something in his gaze made her realize. A second later, she threw herself at Qing Qiu, hugging him tightly and crying out, "Master, it really is you. I heard you were dead." She wiped away tears as she cried. A look of pure joy spread across her face. "It's so good that you're alive." Qing Qiu looked at her, bewildered. He turned to the Phoenix girl and asked, "I was clearly summoning the boss. Why did you show up? Master, am I not as good as that blockhead?" The Phoenix girl sniffled, looking up. Her eyes were filled with tears. "I've warmed your bed for you so many times, and you don't even remember me?" With that, she collapsed dramatically to the ground, muttering, "I have to report this to the Lowly Protection Society." A member who's over 500 years old still dares to call herself a lowly. Shu Huang shot up. She pouted. "Master, don't talk about my age. It's embarrassing." As soon as she finished speaking, she latched onto Qing Qiu again. "Master, where have you been all this time? The sect and the young master have been searching everywhere for you. You should probably come back." Hearing this, Qing Qiu reached out and pinched Shu Huang's cheek. Her face immediately squished into a round little bun. Go back. Absolutely not. I will never go back in this lifetime. He paused, lost in thought. This girl's healing arts far surpass the boss's. It's a shame she's so naive. His gaze fell upon Shu Huang. Summoning a divine beast consumes too much spiritual energy. I'll have to stop for now. With that, Qing Xiu reached out to Shu Huang. He said plainly, first things first, check my body's condition for me. Hearing this, Shu Huang turned and firmly grasped Qing Xiu's hand. Her eyes were filled with concern. Master, are you hurt anywhere? With those words, she closed her eyes, bowed her head, and channeled a stream of her spiritual energy into Qing Xiu's body. Instantly, a rich flow of spiritual energy coursed through him. Inside his body, the energy flowed along his meridians. A spiritual seal, identical to Xiao Yu's, materialized on his chest. After she purged the volatile energy, Shu Huang's face was etched with exhaustion. Sweat beaded on her forehead. She opened her eyes, her gaze fixed on him. She asked softly, are you human? Or are you a ghost? At her words, Qing Xiu's face darkened. Anger flared within him. Unable to restrain himself, he smacked Shu Huang on the head and yelled, I'm your master. Why did you hit me? I wasn't wrong. This body is nothing more than an empty shell. It's just a soulless corpse. As she finished speaking, Shu Huang placed her hand on Qing Xiu's chest. A verdant spiritual energy, mixed with a strange black aura, immediately radiated from her palm. She looked up, meeting Qing Xiu's eyes. Her gaze was intent. This body has almost no life force left. It's practically dead. Whoa! The sensation made Qing Xiu take a step back. He adjusted his robes, glancing at her. Are you sure? I just figured this body was a little weak. Nothing too serious. Shu Huang had a worried expression, waving her hands frantically. This is extremely critical. My diagnosis shows that this body originally possessed a 5-element spiritual root, but some other power ripped it away. Your yang energy is almost completely gone. It's as if a powerful succubus drained you of all your vitality. As she said this, Shu Huang couldn't help but blush. She blurted out, Ooh, how exciting. That must have gone on for at least 3 days and 3 nights. No wonder you're so beaten down. Qing Xiu seethed. He clenched his fists and roared, Get your mind out of the gutter. Shu Huang quickly sat down, placing a finger to her lips. She said, My apologies, master. I misspoke. The truth is, this body was already a wreck. But the soul inside it is exceptionally powerful. It is thanks to that soul that this body, like a withered tree in the rain, is slowly being reborn. Just then, Shu Huang's eyes went wide as she stared at Qing Xiu and exclaimed, Wait a second. Master, are you a soul who transmigrated into this body? Qing Xiu let out a soft chuckle. You're only figuring that out now? You airhead. Shu Huang rubbed her chin, her gaze shifting away. There is a strange power that has been gradually siphoning your life force recently. It's likely related to a contract of some kind. Basically, it's making your condition even worse. Hearing that, Qing Xiu fell silent. That contract, it has to be the one with Xiaoya. As he was lost in thought, Shu Huang stepped closer. The realization hit Qing Xiu. If this isn't dealt with soon, this body will turn to ash. Without a physical body, the primordial spirit vanishes with it. Hearing this, Qing Xiu froze. He broke out in a cold sweat. A shiver of fear ran down his spine. Is it really that serious? Shu Huang placed a hand on her chest and bowed her head with a sigh. Master, don't worry. I'm here for you. All you have to do is absorb me, and the danger will pass. Qing Xiu was stunned, speechless. I almost forgot. A divine beast like her is a treasure from head to toe. After a moment's thought, he reached inside his robes. And so, I already have the celestial treasures needed to heal my body. I just need a few more ingredients to slowly refine everything. With that, Qing Xiu tossed a small, blue vial to Shu Huang. Here, use this. What's this for? Shu Huang asked, her eyes wide with confusion. Qing Xiu shot her a look and waved his hand dismissively. What do you think it's for? Don't play dumb. Weren't you just offering to use your saliva to heal me? That's gross. Let's try a different way. At his words, Shu Huang fumed internally. Her cheeks flushed bright red. She stammered. But I can't do that. Qing Qiu's temper flared. He looked like he was about to explode. He rolled up his sleeves. I've raised you for over 500 years, gave you the best of everything. And now, when I finally need something, you defy me? Are you asking for a beating? Xu Huang gritted her teeth. She glared back and snapped. Fine. Then, she reached down and began to pull down her underwear, muttering to herself as she did, Urine it is, then? Honestly, master, you're unbelievable. Seeing this, Qing Qiu's eyes went wide. He clutched his head and groaned. And you call yourself a divine beast with that blockhead of yours? How ridiculous. He glanced over at Xu Huang. Even my ditzy senior sister is 100 times smarter than you. But it was your order, master. Xu Huang protested. Qing Qiu was livid. His blood was boiling. Who on earth said bodily fluids only means that? Give me your blood. Now. Hearing that, Xu Huang immediately lifted her finger to her mouth and bit down hard. A single drop of blood fell into the blue vial. Qing Qiu took it from her, looking at Xu Huang intently. If you need any other medicinal herbs, just tell me. I'll figure out a way to get them. Master, wouldn't it be easier to ask the sect for them? Xu Huang placed a hand to her chest and sighed softly. If you don't want to go back, I can go get them for you. Don't worry. I'll be sure to keep this little secret of yours. At her words, Qing Qiu's face instantly went pale. He was drenched in a cold sweat. He said hurriedly, All right, fine. I'm begging you. Just don't go spreading this around, and I'll be eternally grateful. With that, he immediately summoned a jade scroll. Then he instructed, Xu Huang, write down all the other herbs we need on this. Yes, master. Xu Huang lowered her gaze. She channeled her spiritual energy, writing upon the surface of the jade scroll. Instantly, countless arcane characters began to materialize on its surface. Once it was finished, she hugged the scroll. A radiant smile spread across her face. Her eyes crinkled with delight. All done. All done. Qing Qiu took it. A faint, satisfied smile on his face. Excellent. How is the sect doing these days? Xu Huang clasped her hands and replied, Everything is in order. Even in your absence, it continues to run smoothly. You, of all people, should know what the young master is capable of. Qing Qiu nodded. Of course I do. My own disciple's abilities. If I didn't, I never would have left the sect. Xu Huang suddenly fell quiet. Her gaze grew distant. It's just that the young master is far too heavy-handed when dealing with the demon clans and other sects. The moment someone says a word she disagrees with, she immediately sends her forces to conquer them. Hearing this, Qing Qiu lowered his head and shook it slightly. He let out a soft sigh. Figures. Her nature hasn't changed a bit. Xu Huang raised a hand. Her voice filled with pride. In just one short month, she has annihilated over 10 sects and several empires. Lately, all the surrounding powers have become much more compliant. Qing Qiu gave a faint smile. As long as she feels it's right, then it's fine by me. She'll have to take the throne sooner or later. Testing the attitude of the major sects is a good thing, too. Anything else? Xu Huang twiddled her thumbs, glancing at Qing Qiu with an embarrassed look. The young master has dispatched 10,000 cultivators to find you. Each of them is carrying ample spiritual supplies. She has vowed to search every last inch of land. If you're alive, she must see you in the flesh. If you're dead, she must see your corpse. Upon hearing that, the color drained from Qing Qiu's face. Sweat poured down his brow. Good heavens, why is that kid so damn stubborn? Feeling utterly helpless, he put one hand on his hip and the other on his head, slumping against a tree. How far has the sect's influence spread by now? They must have people in the Kanglan region. No, they've probably infiltrated the entire Muzhou prefecture already. Just as the thought crossed his mind, a group of cultivators on flying swords appear behind him. Master, look quickly. Those are the sect's flying swords. Looking up, Qing Qiu saw several male disciples holding tokens, streaking across the sky like the wind. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. Damn it, that fast. I'll have to be more careful about staying hidden from now on. It's a blessing this body can't even use high-level spiritual arts. It's perfectly normal for a cultivator undergoing tribulation to be obliterated, body and soul. They even held a memorial service for me when I fail my tribulation. And yet, that little brat is still stubbornly combing the world for me. Qing Qiu sighed. Her methods are definitely putting a lot of pressure on the higher-ups. I really don't understand why she's so fixated on this. As he finished speaking, Qing Xiu reached out his hand. Xu Huang flinched in alarm. You should go back now. And remember, do not reveal my whereabouts. If anyone else finds out, I will nullify our contract. I won't have any use for you anymore. Oh, one more thing. At his words, Xu Huang's face flushed bright red. Too shy to face him, she leaned against the tree, turning away slightly. She whispered, pleading for her master to be gentle, and then squeezed her eyes shut. A sudden force from behind made her cry out. Ah! Qing Xiu held 2 plucked vermilion bird feathers in his hand. He frowned. What's with all the ainge? I'm just plucking 2 feathers. It's nothing to scream about. He turned back, to see Xu Huang with her face pressed against the tree trunk, too mortified to even look up. From now on, I'm done indulging this silly girl. Without a moment's hesitation, Qing Xiu pushes off the stone ceiling, sending the book spirit flying. You're done for. Go back. In an instant, the book spirit is sucked into the formation circle, wailing all the way. Master, you're so mean. The scene shifts. Steam rises from a teapot on a table. Suddenly, the teapot lifts on its own, as if moved by an unseen force. A voice rings out. Third junior brother. What on earth was so urgent that you had to summon us? The Grand Elder keeps his eyes lightly closed. His voice stern. The sect examinations are just around the corner. There's still so much to do. If you have something to say, just say it. Sect Master Kong, Yin sits with his hands clasped before his chest, his gaze deep in thought. Beside him, Elder Kong, Gu has his arms crossed, an annoyed look on his face. Elder Ming Kong takes a sip of tea and begins to speak. Do you all recall the disciple with the dual variant spiritual roots from the initiation ceremony? Kong, Yin immediately asks. You're talking about Yin Qingxiu? The one who arrived with Ling Xiaoya, correct? Yes, that's him. Elder Kong Gu, unable to hide his irritation, speaks up. It's been so long. Why are you still bringing him up, junior brother? Ming Kong strokes his beard, his voice low. We have greatly underestimated that disciple. His recent performance has been nothing short of outstanding. He may have found a way to break through with his twin variant spiritual roots. Kong, Yin shows a flicker of surprise. What? How has Yin Qingxiu been performing? Ming Kong lowers his head, a pensive look on his face. I've heard that he has mastered the wind guiding art, and he finished his punishment of transcribing the scriptures in a single day. Not only that, he also challenged someone above his level and defeated Su Xiu, a disciple who has been with the sect for 5 years. Sitting beside them, Kong Gu's expression continues to sour. Ming Kong continues. Furthermore, I took the liberty of testing his aptitude. The results came back as first class. Hearing this, Kong Yin begins to ponder. Even a genius like Han, you had to train hard for 2 years to reach this level. After a moment, Kong Gu raises a hand. Honestly, I thought this was something serious. Turns out it's just this. Junior brother, you're worrying over nothing. On what grounds do you say that, senior brother? Kong Gu narrows his eyes, glancing sideways. Have you lost your judgment, junior brother? That disciple possesses a variant wind spiritual root to begin with. The wind guiding art is naturally suited for that kind of root. As for defeating Su Xiu, that's only because Su Xiu was foolish enough to lose. Hearing this, Ming Kong grows frustrated, slamming his hand on the armrest. Then what about the aptitude test? Kong Gu holds out a hand, replying decisively. The aptitude test is a comprehensive assessment of spiritual roots, comprehension, and temperament. A single variant spiritual root already boosts the score significantly, let alone dual variant roots, which would add even more points. Still, I'll grant that his comprehension isn't poor. At this, he takes a sip of tea. Junior brother Ming, if you wish to advocate for him, at least wait until he reaches the foundation establishment stage. For all we know, these past few days might just be a flash in the pan, the only bright moment of his entire life. As they were speaking, Ming Kong's eyes widened in surprise. Hanyu walked in from the doorway. He clasped his hands and bowed in respect. Greetings, master and esteemed elders. Upon seeing Hanyu, Kong Yin broke into a smile. My disciple, weren't you in seclusion recently? What brings you here? Hanyu takes a deep breath and speaks clearly. Disciple has encountered a bottleneck in his cultivation. I was just shy of a breakthrough, so I had to end my seclusion early. Hearing this, the two elders standing beside Kong Yin grew thoughtful. So, she's about to reach the mid-stage of core formation. To reach such a level in just over 2 years, you'd be hard-pressed to find another like her in the entire region. In stark contrast to their concern, Kong Yin was thrilled. Huh, that's my disciple for you. So talented and so diligent. With a promising talent like you, the sect is destined to prosper. I'm very pleased. Han Yu remained respectful, replying with humility. I've only come this far thanks to your guidance, master. Kong Yin waved his hand dismissively, laughing. His face was filled with excitement. So, what brings you here today? If you need something, just speak your mind. Han Yu's eyes widened. She spoke clearly. Master, I wish to request that you move a new disciple to the Wenqi chamber. His name is Yun Qingxiu. Upon hearing the name, Ming Kong smiled. Yun Qingxiu, you say? What a coincidence. We were just speaking of him. How do you know him? Han Yu answered succinctly. I fought him once. We've only recently become acquainted. Ming Kong nodded. Our little prodigy rarely makes a move. And yet you chose to spar with him. What's your assessment of him? Han Yu closed her eyes, recalling the fight. Then she spoke. He's likely the strongest among the new initiates. It's just a shame his fighting style relies too heavily on the agility granted by his wind spiritual root and its techniques to gain the upper hand. As she finished, she knelt, pleading earnestly. I believe Yun Qingxiu has immense potential. I hope you will personally guide him, master. Don't let such a promising talent go to waste. Ming Kong stroked his beard in thought. Looks like compared to senior brother Konggu, Han Yu has a much better eye for talent. Kong Yin helped her to her feet and said, let's put the matter of moving Yun Qingxiu aside for now. The sect currently has no cultivation method to manage a dual variant spiritual root. It will be difficult for even me to guide his cultivation. After their discussion, Kong Yin walked Han Yu to the door. He advised her, go and get some rest. You need to prepare for the upcoming assessment. That bunch will likely try to cause trouble for you. Han Yu replied with a respectful bow. Yes, I understand, master. Ming Kong then added, since everyone's here, let's discuss the assessment's outline. The sooner we finalize it, the better. Later, at Xingyu Peak, Yun Qingxiu gazed intently at the jade scroll. This thing is like a miniature encyclopedia. You could even call it a sect's secret tome. Xu Huang might be a bit of a ditz, but she's completely devoted to me. I'll have to be a little nicer to her next time I summon her. With that thought, Yun Qingxiu rolled up the jade scroll and let out a sigh of relief. It's only been one night away from Xiaoya, and I already miss her. I should go see her. No sooner had he thought it than he found himself standing before Xiaoya's door. Before he could even push the door open, a purple bodice flew right into his face. Yun Qingxiu caught it, his face flushing beet red. He broke out in a nervous sweat. What are you all doing here? Are you planning on moving in or something? Tanya, who was in the middle of packing, glanced over and answered flatly. In your dreams. Seriously, I just got here myself. I saw a senior sister packing up, so I decided to lend a hand. I don't really know the details. Wan wiped the sweat from her brow, laughing good-naturedly. I'm getting ready to go out and get some real combat experience. All this stuff is just my luggage. She stood beside a massive teddy bear. Yun Qingxiu crossed his arms, asking quietly, you call this luggage? You even brought a whole makeup kit. It looks like you packed up everything you own. Senior sister, you're supposed to be packing for a trip, not moving out. You're even bringing the teddy bear? Tanya walks over to the stuffed bear. Her eyes are wide. Her face flushes. I just can't sleep soundly without it. She glances at Qingxiu, then continues. Oh, and one more thing. I just got a letter from Sister Wan. She needs my help urgently. She wants me to head to Luoling City right away. That reminds me. It's been a while since we've seen eldest Marshall's sister. It sounds like her family is in some kind of trouble. Something that needs to be handled immediately. I doubt she'll be back anytime soon. Looking at the mountain of stuff piled before them. Everyone sighs. I'm just about done packing. I'm heading out now. Union raises a hand. A gust of wind swirls, lifting her daily necessities into the air. Lu Qingxiu and Xiaoya watch. Union turns back to them. Qingxiu, I'm making a trip to Luoling City. You and Xiaoya should stay here on Qingyu Peak and focus on your cultivation. I'll be back before you know it. Just as she's about to leave, Xiaoya spots a green box behind her. She calls out, hey sister, you dropped this. Hearing that, Union whips around. She grabs the box and lets out a sigh of relief. Good catch, junior sister. I almost forgot the most important thing. Is this cat-shaped pouch yours too, sister? Xiaoya asks. Yunyan takes the pouch and gives an embarrassed laugh. Thanks, Xiaoya. I would have forgotten my money pouch otherwise. As Yunyan turns to leave again, Xiaoya calls out once more. Sister, you forgot this too. Yunyan looks back and sees her own lemon-yellow bodice. She snatches in a hurry. Uh-huh. My bad. Xiaoya shuts her eyes, completely exasperated. She sighs. Why don't you take Qingqiu with you? I have a feeling you'll get into trouble if you go alone. Yunyan puts a hand on the back of her neck and scratches her head. Her cheeks turn pink. She chuckles awkwardly. All right then, that could work. Qingqiu strokes his chin, a sly smile playing on his lips. Luoling City is the main trade hub of Muzhou Prefecture. I could find a lot of medicinal ingredients there, and I can't put off dealing with my physical condition any longer. After a moment's thought, he turns to the two girls. I don't think it's a good idea for Xiaoya to stay here by herself. Why don't all three of us go together? Yeah, it'll be more fun if we all go. Yunyan beams at Xiaoya. So, Xiaoya, you should come with us. Think of it as a little trip. Xiaoya replies. I'd love to go to Luoling City, but I'm preparing for a breakthrough. And I don't mean the 5th level of qi refining. I'm about to enter Foundation Establishment. What do you think? Pretty fast, right? Hearing this, Yunyan looks like she's been struck by lightning. Her eyes go wide. Her jaw drops. Xiaoya, you're not joking, are you? You're really about to break through to Foundation Establishment? It's only been a short while. Tanya smiles faintly. I'm not kidding at all. Ever since I started cultivating the heavenly spirit art that Qingqiu taught me, I felt my spiritual energy absorption speed up significantly. Thanks to that, my cultivation has progressed very quickly. I'm about to reach the Foundation Establishment threshold. Well, Qingqiu, what do you say? Qingqiu holds up one finger and praises her with a smile. That's incredible, Xiaoya. All my spiritual power and vitality are being sucked away. My cultivation isn't progressing at all. Yunyan approached. She looked at Suya with admiration before giving her instructions. Qingqiu and I will be heading out then. We'll be back soon. Take care of yourself while we're gone. It's fine. Suya stepped forward. Placing a hand on Qingqiu's shoulder, she made him jump and her expression was cold. In a stern voice, she said, Qingqiu, you will behave yourself while you're with your senior sister. And listen to her. You hear me? Yunyan. I know. Not long after, Qingqiu and Yunyan soared through the air on a spirit beast, heading towards Luolang City, a place renowned for its vast scale and magnificent architecture that left all who saw it in awe. The two landed in the middle of a bustling market. It was packed with people. Qingqiu jumped off the spirit beast, his entire body covered in feathers. He coughed violently. So many feathers. This is awful. Yunyan looked at the spirit beast, then burst out, laughing. Well, we didn't have much of a choice. It was the only spirit bird in the sect that could get us all the way to Luolang City. With that said, she grabbed Qingqiu's hand and pulled him into the crowd. Amidst the clamor of the market, Wanji suddenly appeared. Her eyes sparkled as she looked around. When she spotted Yunyan and Qingqiu, she broke into a radiant smile. Junior brother. Hearing her voice, Yunyan immediately waved. Senior sister. Senior sister. Come on, Xiaoqiu. Senior sister is over there. As Yunyan ran towards Wanji, a group of young men nearby stared at her with lecherous eyes. Qingqiu noticed. His expression immediately darkened. Without a word, he activated an invisibility technique and suddenly lunged forward to teach the creeps a brutal lesson. You dare have ideas about my senior sister? In your dreams. In an instant, the whole group fled in a panic. Wanji walked over, waving. Junior brother, you came too? My junior-senior sister is a bit forgetful, so I had to come along to keep her on track. Yunyan clenched her fists in frustration. That is not true. I'm not that clueless, right? Have you already forgotten who almost got lost picking herbs last time? Yunyan's face turned red. Stop talking. Wanji came closer and pinched Yunyan's cheek. She said with a laugh, you must be tired from the long journey. I'll take you two for a walk around. You'll have a lot to do tomorrow, junior sister. Yunyan nodded. Don't worry, senior sister. You can count on me. It seems like my junior sister has gotten a little rounder. Hey, no way. I've been on a diet. How could I be fat? Sister Wan, that hurts. Stop pinching. Yunyan pulled away from Wanji's hand and hurried off. But then, she happened to spot a roadside stall and stopped in her tracks. Both Wanji and Yunyun were captivated by something on display. Their eyes lit up. After browsing for a while, they left the stall with their hands full of bags. It's true. No matter where you go, women love to shop. Wanji looked back as she walked and said, "Let's go. I'll take you to the Merchants Guild." After a short walk, Wanji opened a gate leading them inside a compound. "You two can rest here for now. You each get your own room," Qingxiu and Mu Yunyun said in unison. "Senior sister. I can't believe our senior sister is the young miss of the Luo Trading Guild." Qingxiu followed her in, asking, "Senior sister, what happened with your family? You haven't been back to Green Serenity Peak in so long." Luo Yuanji closed the door. She allowed a soft sigh. "It's a long story. Mu Prefecture is rich in medicinal herbs. It's also a major trading hub. So, it's become a renowned center for pill refinement. The city lord wants to promote alchemy. So he's organized a grand alchemy assembly. He's offering incredible rewards to attract the various clans. But my family's guild is only mid-tier. We don't have any outstanding alchemists." A shadow of sadness crossed Luo Yuanji's eyes. "We're just participating to make an appearance. On top of that, my grandfather's old illness has relapsed. We urgently need a calm spirit fruit for his medicine." Qingxiu immediately asked, "Isn't that fruit one of the prizes for the competition?" "Yes, it is. So I have to rely on Mu Yunyan's help," Luo Yuanji admitted. Qingxiu was stunned. "Our little senior sister is an alchemist, too?" Sitting beside them, Mu Yunyun spoke up without hesitation. "I have a fire spirit root, so I'm naturally good at fire control. My cultivation isn't anything special, but alchemy just fits. It's true, the requirements to become an alchemist are incredibly strict. Only a very few can achieve it." Luo Yuanji nodded in agreement. "Senior sister, you must be short on pills right now. I was going to save this as a surprise for the sex assessment exams. But I guess I have to reveal it early." As she spoke, she reached into her robes to pull something out. Her face was full of excitement. Just a sec. What she pulled out was a set of jet black lingerie. A heavy silence fell over the room. Luo Yuanji was holding a tea tray. She glanced over. Her face turned beet red as she stammered, "I already have a set. I don't need another." "What the? Lingerie?" The moment the words left her mouth, Mu Yunyan looked down at her hand. Her face flushed a deep crimson. Beads of sweat formed on her forehead. She quickly hid the lingerie behind her back. She sputtered. Mu Yunyan plopped down onto the chair. She pulled her sleeve over her face. Too embarrassed to look up. "If I said this wasn't mine, would you guys believe me?" Hearing this, Luo Yuanji turned away. This only made Mu Yunyun even more flustered. Gasp! Luo Yuanji and Qingxiu immediately held up their hands to reassure her. "Senior sister believes you. I believe you too." Though she said that, an image of Mu Yunyun wearing that very lingerie flashed through Qingxiu's mind. "I never knew senior sister had such bold taste. She must look incredibly seductive in it." Despite their reassurances, Mu Yunyun was still blushing furiously. "I don't believe you. I probably bought this because I thought I was too fat. They say wearing this stuff makes you look slimmer." As she spoke, she stretched the lingerie. She laughed awkwardly. "See? It's super stretchy." Qingxiu and Luo Yuanji watched, completely dumbfounded. Could it be that Mu Yunyun wears this all the time to hide her figure? If she doesn't, then our little senior sister's bust has to be at least an E-cup. Overcome with embarrassment, Mu Yunyun bolted from the room. She yelled back, "I'm tired. I'm going to bed." Early the next morning, a handmaiden knocked softly on Mu Yunyun's door. She spoke politely. "Young miss, please come to the rear courtyard to prepare for the refinement." Hearing the call, Mu Yunyun opened the door. Her expression, a radiant glow. She answered with a bright smile. "I'll be right there." She silently vowed to show them her true alchemy skills and erase the embarrassment of last night. With that thought, she clenched her fist. Her gaze, resolute. After walking a short distance with the handmaiden, they passed several bustling groups of people. The handmaiden turned to her with a pleasant smile. "Is everything to your liking, my lady? If there's anything you're not satisfied with, please just say the word. I'll have it corrected immediately." Yunyan smiled. "It's fine. Everything is perfect." Just then, Yuan Ji stepped out from the study. She spoke up. "That's good to hear. As long as you're comfortable, junior sister, that's all that matters." Yunyan turned around. She handed Yuan Ji, a green J-box. Shiji, you're here early. This is the gift I prepared for you. I grabbed the wrong one yesterday. Yuan Ji narrowed her eyes. Really? It's not that other thing, is it? Yunyan shook her head firmly. I double-checked. Yuan Ji opened the box. Her eyes went wide when she saw. It was filled with rows of shimmering, glossy pills. Yunyan clasped her hands. She explained in a soft voice. Qing Yu Peak always ranks low in the assessments. I thought I could stockpile some pills to help improve our results. I've been spending all my time refining them lately. Since you're in a difficult spot, Shiji, I brought them out for you to use first. My only regret is letting down Xiao Qiu and Xiaoya. After hearing this, Yuan Ji closed her eyes and sighed. Does this mean you haven't been cultivating at all this whole time? Yunyun's eyes welled with tears. She took Yuan Ji's hand. That's right. My cultivation hasn't progressed. I switched to refining pills to help everyone. Please don't be mad, Shiji. I promise I'll start cultivating diligently again. Yuan Ji gently tapped her on the forehead. Her voice was full of affection. You silly girl. How could I possibly blame you? As the two were talking, the handmaiden held up the box of pills. She exclaimed with joy. This is wonderful. With this many, the Merchants Guild can stay afloat for a long time. Thank you, my lady. Yuan Ji gripped Yunyun's hand tightly. Her eyes shone with gratitude. Thank you, Mu Yun. I'm so incredibly happy. But my goodness, refining this many pills must have taken a huge toll on you. The handmaiden in the back signaled for everyone to form a line. Yunyun held out her hand. A surge of rich, spiritual energy flowed from the ring on her finger. In an instant, a massive, golden bronze alchemy cauldron appeared. Qing Qiu's eyes widened, a look of shock on her face. Is she preparing to refine pills right now? Yunyun pointed toward the cauldron. Her voice was full of excitement. Qing Qiu, are you interested in alchemy too? Qing Qiu nodded, her eyes sparkling. Of course. Little Shiji. Yunyun began to channel her power. Spiritual energy swirled around her, erupting into a brilliant flame. I'll give you all a little demonstration. Everyone, stand back. In a flash, the alchemy cauldron was engulfed in raging fire. One by one, the herbs flew into the flames. Yuan Ji placed a hand on her chest. Her gaze was fixed on the scene. When she's refining, Yunyun is like a completely different person. Junior brother, have you ever heard of Guyenting? It only took her 5 years to reach that realm of mastery. But when it comes to alchemy, no one in our generation can even compare to her. Perhaps our future will depend on her. He just nodded. His voice was firm. Right. So now's my chance to get on senior sister's good side. Suddenly, the alchemy furnace let out a deafening explosion. Black smoke billowed everywhere. Yuan and Qing Qiu quickly covered their faces. This is bad. The furnace exploded. Yunyun stumbled out of the smoke, her hand covering her nose. She couldn't stop coughing. Yuan rushed to her side, brushing the soot off her, her voice filled with worry. Yunyun, are you okay? I was just showing off for my junior brother, and then the furnace goes and blows up. How humiliating. Yuan, I'm fine. This furnace is fireproof and insulated. Master bought it for me himself. With that, she rolled up her sleeves. That was just a warm-up. The real show starts now. Yunyun stared intently at the furnace. Spiritual energy condensed into brilliant balls of fire. A moment later, the furnace exploded again. The lid shot straight into the sky. Immediately after, the mouth of the furnace began to glow. It erupted with incredible power. Watching this, Yuan Qi's face darkened. She thought to herself, the better she gets, the more her furnace explodes. This is terrifying. I'd better get out of here. The thought had barely crossed her mind when she immediately turned to leave. She glanced back, waving to Qing Qiu. I have to get back and take care of some things at the guild. As Yuan Qi hurried away, Qing Qiu stared at the furnace. Beads of sweat trickled down his face. He thought, to withstand that much heat, Senior Sister's furnace is definitely no ordinary treasure. Meanwhile, Yunyun remained completely focused on her refinement. Before long, a brilliant light rose from within the flames. The light coalesced into a pill radiating a golden aura. Waves of spiritual energy poured out. The potent fragrance hit Qing Qiu, and he couldn't help but exclaim, what a powerful medicinal aroma. Yunyun held the pill in her hand, her eyes shining. I finally did it. Qing Qiu took the pill to examine it. He was stunned. Her success rate is incredible. That's my senior sister for you. To be able to refine a top-grade pill at her age? If the Mu Prefecture ever found out, they'd be fighting each other to recruit her. Yunyan put the pill away in her robes. She then turned to him and asked, Little Chiyo, do you want to learn alchemy too? Qing Chiyo nodded. I do. I wanted to become an alchemist for a long time, but I never had the opportunity. Yunyan smiled. What do you mean you never had the opportunity? Little Chiyo, remember this. You're still young. You have all the time in the world. If you want to learn, I'll teach you. With that, she reached into her robes to search for something. Hang on a second. Okay. Yunyan rummaged around for quite a while. Finally, she started pulling out all sorts of things. Things like dried squid, rotten fish, and a few other oddities. At last, she pulled out a technique scroll. This is the alchemy compendium passed down by her master. If you want to learn, just read this. Qing Chiyo accepted the scroll, but his eyes drifted to the pile of dried squid and other junk. Tossed carelessly among the items was a maid's outfit. His face, flushed bright red. Don't look. If you keep staring, I'm telling Xiaoya. Hearing this, Qing Chiyo squeezed his eyes shut. He forced a smile. As dusk settled in, the flames from the alchemy furnace still blazed bright. Qing Chiyo sat perfectly still, engrossed in the cultivation manual. Then he let out a soft sigh. 8 hours had passed in the blink of an eye. At last he stood up, stretching his arms. He thought to himself, this content is so complex, and the text is so dense. Even with the system's help, it would take anyone else ages. But for me, I just need to read it once to remember everything. Little senior sister is still cultivating. I shouldn't bother her. And eldest senior sister is nowhere to be found. Looks like I'll have to figure this out on my own. Just as he stepped outside, Qing Chiyo caught a strange scent. Is that the smell of alchemical pills? I should go check it out. He followed the aroma, walking straight into the alchemy workshop. The doors swung open, revealing countless furnaces burning brightly inside. Deeper within, he saw a man performing a technique in front of a furnace. Next to him was an empty furnace, an unused furnace. I think I'll give it a try. Hearing that, the man gritted his teeth. A new alchemist? I've never seen him before. Qing Chiyo pointed to himself. You mean me? Who else is here? Hearing this, Qing Chiyo's voice turned serious. I'm not a new alchemist. The man immediately bristled. His face darkened. If you're not, then what are you doing here? Get the hell out of my sight. A female steward holding a green box flinched. Her eyes widened as she looked behind her. Someone's arguing? Looking closer, she realized it was little junior brother Qing Chiyo. She hurried over to intervene. Master Zhang, what seems to be the problem? This guy shows up out of nowhere and demands to perform alchemy. Zhang Ming's face was beet red. He seethed. I was just about to throw him out. The steward quickly stood by Qing Chiyo's side, explaining with a smile. Master Zhang, please calm down. This young man is the eldest Mrs. Junior Brother. He's also an honored guest of our merchant guild. You gotta be kidding me. As she said this, sweat beaded on her forehead. She felt a knot of anxiety in her stomach. If the eldest Mrs. Junior Brother gets bullied on my watch, I'm in deep trouble. But right now, Zhang Ming is the only top alchemist we have left in the guild. His profession is rare, and everyone respects him. Hearing her explanation, Zhang Ming scoffed. He sneered. The eldest Mrs. Junior Brother? At best, he's just some run-of-the-mill disciple from a cultivation sect. How can he even compare to an alchemist like me? The steward paused, then turned to ask Qing Chiyo. Are you really not an alchemist, sir? If so, why have you come here? Qing Chiyo remained calm. It's nothing. I just want to try my hand at alchemy. He said it calmly, but inside, his expression had turned to ice. He thought, if the steward hadn't shown up when she did, I would have already turned this arrogant bastard to ash. The steward wrung her hands, her thoughts racing. He's the eldest Mrs. Honored Guest. I can't offend him, but this is the master's alchemy area. Causing a scene will definitely make everyone unhappy. Finally, she pointed to 3 furnaces nearby. Sir, for the next 10 days, please use one of those to practice your alchemy. The masters are all very busy, and besides, our guild has been facing some difficulties lately. Please forgive my impoliteness. She clasped her hands, her eyes downcast in a pitiful expression. When I have a moment, I, Luo Ling, will treat you to a meal to make it up to you. Qing Chiyo hears this and gestures with his hand. It's fine. Anywhere will do. Since this stewardess is so reasonable, I won't make things difficult for her. Besides, I just want to give it a try. Any spot is fine. Zhang Ming stands off to the side, muttering irritably. Every stray cat and dog thinks they can refine pills now. You think this is easy? Qing Xiao steps forward. He dusts off the alchemy furnace. Zhang Ming turns and snaps at him. Quiet. Don't make a sound. Otherwise, I don't care if you're an honored guest. I'll still throw you out. Qing Xiao channels spiritual energy into his palm. He glances back with an annoyed look. Nearby, a male and a female disciple stare at the furnace flame, whispering, "Isn't he a complete beginner? How did he even light the fire?" His technique screams, "Rookie." Hearing them, Zhang Ming glares. He roars. "Keep chattering, and you can all get out." No, we'll get right back to our refining." Zhang Ming's face darkens as he thinks to himself. Lighting the fire? What's so great about that? The real challenge is what comes next. He's hopelessly naive if he thinks becoming an alchemist is so simple. Luo Lin watches Zhang Ming intently. Sweat beads on her forehead. I have to stay and calm things down, keep him from causing more trouble. Besides, alchemy is no simple craft. Once he fails, he'll lose interest on his own. Then I can just comfort him a bit and ask him to leave. It's polite and avoids any real conflict. Streams of spiritual energy begin to lift the various herbs. They float around Qing Xiao. The spiritual energy needs to grind the herbs into 100 flower essence, turning them into a fine powder. Combine them with the qi grass and red plum fruit. Finally, everything goes into the furnace for refining. As the thought completes, he clenches his fist. The pile of herbs is instantly pulverized. Luo Lin's eyes go wide with shock. She puts out a hand, flustered. Honored guest, that's... She places a hand over her heart. Her eyes are fixed on the swirling energy. The proper method is to process each ingredient one by one. Focusing your spiritual will is the standard approach. Oh, whatever. This man isn't just unorthodox. He lacks the most fundamental knowledge. The streams of energy channel deep into the furnace. Inside the furnace, they slowly condense into a single sphere. Luo Lin's jaw drops as she witnesses the scene. How is that possible? He actually did it? Refining so many ingredients at once. Not even the greatest geniuses of the past could do that. Qing Xiao stares ahead intently. A dense concentration of spiritual energy gathers in his hands. His spiritual arts and techniques are incredible. Energy from Qing Xiao's hands flows into the furnace. Zhang Ming, meanwhile, is also showing off his skills. Just managing not to incinerate the ingredients is an achievement in itself. It's so easy to make a basic error, like creating impurities or causing an explosion. With that, he glares. A blazing red orb of fire energy forms in his palm. I'll use my actions to put that kid in his place. He thrusts his hand upward. His eyes wide, he bellows. Not just anyone can become an alchemist. The moment he speaks, a pill shoots out from his furnace. The disciples erupt in cheers. A first-grade, superior quality pill. That's Grandmaster Zhang for you. He refined a superior-grade pill. Incredible. With one hand on his hip and the pill in the other. Zhang Ming laughs triumphantly. A superior-grade pill on the first try. That should teach that little punk a lesson. And this will show the young miss that the guild will always need me. But when he glances at Luo Lin, she is still staring off into the distance, completely mesmerized. Weird. Why isn't she looking over here? What's so fascinating about that guy? It's a wonder he hasn't blown himself up yet. Zhang Ming stands before the others, crossing his arms with a condescending smirk. Let's see how much longer you can keep that up. A male disciple stares forward. He breaks out in a cold sweat. No way. Isn't he a total novice? How? How'd he get to this stage? I can't believe it. How is everything going so perfectly? Qing Xiao's eyes widen. Reflected in his pupils is a pill taking shape within a raging sea of spiritual energy. He plants his feet firmly on the ground. He raises both hands. Wisps of white smoke drift up around his body. Just a few seconds later, Qing Xiao retrieves a blue pill. Zhang Ming and his disciples stare, wide-eyed and slack-jawed. He actually refined it? He succeeded on his very first try? And it's a superior-grade pill, no less. What the hell? Luo Lin's eyes go wide. She covers her mouth with her hand. Her heart pounds in shock. Unbelievable. Qing Xiao examines the pill in his hand. His eyes widen, unable to hide his own surprise. Superior grade? It's not even top grade. Just my luck. I'll have to try again. With that, he tosses the pill to Luo Lin. She catches it, stunned. Why would you just throw away such a good pill? A single superior grade pill, like this, is worth half a month of my salary. Qin Xiu turns back to the shelf of medicinal ingredients. He selects what he needs for another attempt. He mutters, why keep it if it's a failure? Luo Lin is dumbfounded. She raises a trembling finger. He called a superior grade pill a failure? Even if it's not impossibly rare, it's still considered a luxury item at any merchant guild, and he just treated it like trash. The crowd behind Zhang Ming begins to whisper, much to his irritation. His face darkens. A failure, he says. Even we can't guarantee we can refine a superior grade pill. So what does that make us? This brat is deliberately trying to humiliate us. A new pill emerges from the cauldron. A brilliant golden light floods the room. This quality, I guess it's acceptable. Qin Xiu comments nonchalantly. He turns to Luo Lin. If the guild isn't too picky, you can have it. Luo Lin immediately blurts out, yes, we desperately need it. Qin Xiu casually tosses the pill over. He smirks. It's yours. So, do I qualify as an honored guest yet? Luo Lin panics. Sir, wait. This is a superior grade elixir. How can you be so careless with it? She quickly stores the pills safely, then turns and shouts at the crowd. What are you all staring at? Get out of here. You'll be in trouble if you cause a disturbance. A few of them plead. Manager Luo, please just let us get a quick look. Luo Lin quickly steps in front of them, blocking their view. I have to report this to the young miss immediately. Qin Xiu stands in the middle of the room. He closes his eyes and smiles. Grandmaster, Zhang was just saying that any stray cat or dog could refine pills. So what now? He turns around. He nonchalantly cleans his ear with his pinky. A smug grin spreads across his face. I think it's a newcomer like you who isn't worthy of saying such things. And now I'm giving those words right back to you. Hearing this, Zhang Ming's face contorts with rage. His eyes bulge. He grinds his teeth. He's completely speechless. Qin Xiu calmly walks out. He slams the door behind him with a loud bang, enraging Zhang Ming even more. His clenched fists tremble uncontrollably. Back at the Luo Merchant Guild, in the rear courtyard, a young woman sits, staring intently at Yunyan. Her eyes are wide. Her gaze is filled with anxiety. Yunyan's cauldron begins to shake violently. Smoke and dust billow from it without end. Yunyan's brow is furrowed in concentration. She channels two streams of spiritual energy into her arms. This alchemy grand tournament. Grandpa's and senior sister's lives are on the line. I have to refine a superior grade pill to ease the guild's burden. With that thought, the spiritual power in her hands floods into the cauldron. It quickly condenses into a sphere. Moments later, a pill appears, though a corner of it seems to be cracked. Yunyan clutches it tightly. She mutters to herself. It has to be superior grade. It just has to be. Just then, Yuan Qi placed her hand on her shoulder, her voice soft. Don't worry. There's still time before the grand assembly. I believe in you. Hearing this, Yunyan slowly unclenched her fists. Her tear-filled eyes were wide with despair. How did it turn out like this? Could there have been a mistake? Back at the sect, my success rate for top-grade pills was 60%. Seeing her like this, Yuan Qi's heart sank, but she forced herself to console her. You're already incredibly skilled. You just need to calm your mind. But what if I can't perform when it counts? Yunyan asked, her voice trembling. Yuan Qi gently wiped away her tears. I'm grateful that you gave it your all. How could I possibly blame you? With that, she closed her eyes and managed a faint smile. Go get some rest for now. We'll practice again later. Yunyan lowered her head, wringing her hands. She gave a slight nod. Perhaps we should try to find that former chief alchemist. Maybe he'll agree to come back. Hearing the suggestion, Yuan Qi's face darkened. She shook her head. Hung took advantage of our crisis to try and force me into marriage, threatening to leave if I refused. He may be a top-tier alchemist, but now our success rests entirely on you. At that thought, Yuan Qi clenched her fists. She slammed them on the table. But Yaya needs that medicine. There's no other way out. Am I supposed to just watch my loved one die? She broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. Do I really have to give in to him? Just then, Luo Lin burst in, shouting. Miss! Miss! She rushed to Yuan Qi's side. Out of breath. I finally found you. What is it? Is there trouble at the merchant guild? Yuan Qi asked, alarmed. Luo Lin looked up, answering between gasps. Thanks to Miss Moo's pills, that front is stable for now. Then what is it? Just spit it out. Luo Lin presented a small, green box. Miss, please take a look at this. Yuan Qi slowly opened the box. Why so mysterious? The moment the lid was lifted, a rich, medicinal fragrance filled the air. Both of them stared at the pill inside. Stunned. This is a peak-grade pill, isn't it? Yuan Qi stared hard at Luo Lin, demanding answers. Where did you get this? Did one of the guild's alchemists make it? You could say that. Yuan Qi's brow furrowed in suspicion. What's that supposed to mean? It couldn't be Su. Impossible. Su is only a second-grade alchemist at best. There's no way he could have crafted this. Luo Lin immediately shook her head. That's right. It wasn't him. Then was it Lu Zhao? Did he come back? But even his skills aren't enough to produce something of this quality. Luo Lin gritted her teeth, a look of disgust on her face. As if it could be him. I'd be shocked if that guy ever showed his face around here again. Yuan Qi frowned, her patience wearing thin. Then who was it? Out with it. Luo Lin covered her mouth, stifling a giggle. I knew you wouldn't be able to guess, Mississippi. Frustrated, Yuan Qi crossed her arms. Fine. You can forget about next month's wages. No, wait. I'll talk. It was your junior brother. His pill refining skill is absolutely incredible. Hearing this, both Yuan Qi and Yun Yun's eyes went wide. Their jaws dropped. They gasped in astonishment. What? How in the world did our junior brother refine that? Seeing the looks on their faces, Luo Lin thought to himself, just as I thought, the young Mrs. Junior brother is no slouch. Yin Yun stared hard at Wan Ji. A top-grade pill, she began, is something only a third-rank alchemist should be able to refine. And even most of them can't pull it off. Luo Lin clenched his fist. That's right, he answered firmly. It's true. I wouldn't dare lie to you. Young miss, our junior brother is nearby. We have to go see him. Wan Ji and Yun Yun looked at each other and nodded in unison. Let's go. A short while later, the three of them entered the alchemy workshop. Yun Yun's eyes went wide as she took in the scene. She was too shocked to speak. Zhang Ming and his disciples were tearing their hair out. Ow, he wailed. How did that little punk manage to refine a top-grade pill? I've been slaving away for 20 years. Did all my hard work just go down the drain? Watching the spectacle, Yun thought. So that's why alchemists are always going bald. This must be it. Meanwhile, Zhang Ming was frantically banging his head against the wall. Wan Ji walked over and asked, Zhang Ming, what on earth happened? He's in shock because of our junior brother. Luo Lin waved over the group of people nearby. Come on over. The group of young men quickly explained the situation to Wan Ji. Eldest young miss, your junior brother is a prodigy. He's so young, but he can already refine top-grade pills. His technique is flawless. He's guaranteed to win the grand tournament. Our Chamber of Commerce is saved. See? I told you so. Yun Yun was still in a daze, her eyes wide. I can't believe Qin Xiu is that incredible. We have to find him now. In a bustling marketplace, the street was crowded with people. The stall owner flashed a wide grin. Hey there, young man. These special interest books, they're all new arrivals. Real page-turners, if you know what I mean. Just flip open a few pages and you'll see. Qin Xiu casually picked up a book labeled ISL. As he glanced at it, he broke into a cold sweat. Oh crap, I didn't bring any money. Wait a second. That scent is so familiar. Turning around, he saw Wan Ji and her group. Junior brother, we need to ask you something. Come back to the chamber with us. The moment she finished speaking, the girls started dragging Qin Xiu away. The stall owner jumped to his feet. Hey, you haven't paid for that yet. Just as he shouted, a gold ingot flew through the air and landed in his hands. After they had gone a few steps, Wan Ji froze. Oh no, I gave him way too much. At that thought, she spun around. She pointed at the owner. Hold on. We'll take all of these books. Hearing this, the owner's eyes lit up. Of course, that young man was only buying 2. But this young lady is taking the whole lot. Truly impressive. Sometime later, Luo Lin returned to the Chamber of Commerce. He pushed open the door and stepped inside. Qin Xiu was sitting there, a look of worry and suspicion on his face. He wondered, why are my senior sisters looking at me so weirdly? The girls looked up, their eyes sparkling, their cheeks flushed. Ju, junior brother, come here. At her words, he practically jumped 100 feet back. I just glanced at a restricted manual. Is she really going to make me practice it right now? He was getting nervous. Wanji stepped closer. Her voice was stern. Tell me the truth. Are you an alchemist? He fell silent, pretending to be clueless. Not exactly. Wanji stared him down. She enunciated every single word. You've refined a high-grade pill. Does that not count? No, that's not right. That would make you a grandmaster alchemist. Qin Qiu replied. I've never taken the official exam. So how can I be called an alchemist? Luo Lin chimed in. Of course it counts. In all of Luo Ling district, only 3 people can do that. Not even the young miss. How could it possibly not count? Qin Qiu's eyes went wide. For real? Even senior sister can't do it? That's incredible. Yin Yin covered her mouth in shock. You silly boy. It's true. Qin Qiu. Did you really refine a high-grade pill? Oh my god. That's something only third-stage cultivators are supposed to be able to do. How did you manage it? Qin Qiu tensed up. Beads of sweat formed on his brow. I was just messing around. I didn't actually think it would work. Wanji's voice softened as she looked at him. Junior brother, could you show us how you do it? Yin Yin ran over, grabbing his hand tightly. Yeah, I want to see too. Meeting their eager eyes, Qin Qiu lowered his head. He replied softly. All right, stepping outside. Qin Qiu was startled to see the alchemy furnace shaking violently. Wanji brought out a different, intricately carved furnace. She glanced over with a smile. Junior brother, it's all yours. Qin Qiu began to channel his power, gathering a brilliant, golden spiritual energy. First, he ignited a flame inside the furnace. It erupted with a ferocious roar. Wanji and Yun Yun were speechless. Their eyes were wide with disbelief. This is impossible. In just a few moments, Qin Qiu held a gleaming pill in his hand. His expression was remarkably calm. He casually tossed the pill toward Wanji. Senior sister. Catch. Oh my god. Be careful. Wanji scrambled to catch the pill while Yun Yun stared, completely dumbfounded. Qin Qiu, how are you so incredible? You're already a genius at cultivation, and now you've mastered alchemy in no time at all. Qin Qiu quickly waved his hands in dismissal. He replied modestly, No. Senior sister is the one who's truly talented. Yin Yin gave him a big thumbs up. Qin Qiu, you're a total genius. Qin Qiu replied humbly. I'm just a fake genius. Senior sister is the one who's truly exceptional. Yin Yin threw both her hands in the air and cheered. Qin Qiu is so handsome. Well, I can't argue with that one. Qin Qiu chuckled softly. Hearing this, Wanji stepped forward and took Qin Qiu's hand. Junior brother, will you please participate in the alchemy conference this time? Think of it as your senior sister begging you. Please? Her expression was unbelievably adorable. Qin Qiu found it impossible to refuse. His cheeks flushed bright red. Oh man, who could possibly say no to this? He thought to himself. He lightly thumped his chest a few times, trying to put on a brave face. If you trust me, senior sister, I'll do it. Hearing this, Yuan Qi froze. Without another moment's hesitation, she rushed forward, throwing her arms around Qin Qiu. Thank you, junior brother. Held in her tight embrace. Qin Qiu broke out in a cold sweat. Oh no, she's so close. Gotta stay calm. Don't make a wrong move. He told himself firmly. Yuan Qi was so moved that she began to cry, which made Qin Qiu worry. He asked quickly, Senior sister, what's wrong? She placed one hand on his chest, the other covering her mouth, as she thought, with someone so dependable by my side, there's finally hope for my father's illness. I can finally breathe a little easier. Luo Lin placed a hand on her own chest, watching with concern. Young miss, why is she crying? She should be happy. Qin Qiu gently tried to console her. Senior sister, don't cry. I'm here now. Senior sister has always been so strong, so calm no matter what. For her to cry like this, she must have been under immense pressure. Our young miss has been so tired. Yin Yin put a hand to her mouth. That guy, Qin Qiu, he immediately shot a look at Yuan Qi. A single glance was all it took for her to understand. Qin Qiu raised a hand, signaling to Yin Yin. He then stepped closer to Yuan Qi. As Yin Yin and Luo Lin quietly took their leave, Qin Qiu placed a hand on her shoulder, patting it gently. Eldest senior sister. It's just the two of us now. Go ahead and cry. You'll feel better if you let it all out. Whatever you've been bottling up, just tell me. I won't judge you. Yuan Chi choked back her sobs, speaking through tears. I've been so tired these past few days. I didn't dare to cry. I couldn't afford to make a single mistake. They were all watching my every move. If I slipped up even once, the entire merchant guild would have collapsed. Hearing this, Qin Xiu's heart ached for her. He patted her back gently. It's okay. Just tell me everything. Yuan Chi lowered her head, her expression grim. Those other merchant guilds, they're despicable. They all look down on me, thinking a woman couldn't possibly handle such a huge responsibility. Qin Xiu offered an encouraging smile. Senior sister, you've done an incredible job. I don't think any other disciple could have held on for this long. Yuan Chi clenched her fists, fresh tears welling in her eyes. And those alchemists, we paid them a fortune, but when the guild was in trouble, not a single one of them would help. If Yin Yin hadn't brought those pills, the guild would have never survived. But the worst, the most detestable one, was the chief alchemist. When my father fell gravely ill, he tried to force me to marry him. Qin Xiu's expression turned ice cold. He threatened you with marriage? I turned him down flat. So he left, but not before threatening to slander us at the Grand Assembly. Yuan Chi said, her voice filled with sorrow. Lu Zhao. He was an alchemist our guild took in and trained. Qin Xiu gently pulled her head to his shoulder, whispering, I'll remember that name. At the Grand Assembly, I will make him pay. Anyone who disrespects you is going to pay for it. The championship title will belong to your guild. If not, I'll leave Yufeng City for good. Hearing this, Yuan Ji squeezed Qin Xiu's hand tightly. A sense of calm washed over her. He stood tall, a radiant smile on his face. I'll show them what real ruthlessness looks like. Trust me, senior sister. I'll make them bow their heads to you. Qin Xiu continued. Feeling a little better now, senior sister? I even brought a little something for you. Yuan Ji blinked. Her curiosity piqued. A gift? What is it? Qin Xiu held up a finger, a smug look on his face. The last time I was at the library pavilion, I borrowed something called the Jade Body Art. They say when you master it, you get the perfect figure. I figured you could really use it. At his words, Yuan Ji's face flushed crimson. She playfully bit Qin Xiu's hand. How dare you tease me about my chest being small? I'm so mad at you. Qin Xiu just laughed. So you don't want it then? Yuan Ji immediately let go and blurted out, I do. Of course I want it, but you didn't have to be so mean about it. You're going to make me cry? Qin Xiu's smile softened. If you cry, I'll be here to comfort you. Everyone feels vulnerable sometimes, right? He then gently tapped her on the nose and smiled tenderly. Don't worry. I'll always be here for you. Yuan Ji's face burned, and she pushed Qin Xiu away. Lowering her head, she thought to herself, why is my heart pounding like this? Qin Xiu, completely oblivious, just gestured behind her. Well, as long as you're okay, I'm relieved. I left the Jade Body Art with her junior sister. She'll bring it to you later. Yuan Ji placed a hand over her heart, her face still rosy. I just remembered I have something to do. I'll see you later. Qin Xiu watched her hurry away, a bead of sweat rolling down his temple. He thought, what's gotten into her? She's acting so weird. He scratched his head, completely baffled. Her moods changed like the weather. Later that afternoon, Qin Xiu was relaxing in a chair, his eyes on the refining furnace. In one hand, he held a cup of tea, while the other manipulated the spiritual energy. This quiet place is perfect for alchemy. As he was enjoying the peace and quiet, Luo Lin arrived with a tray of desserts. Master Yun, the young miss just made these and wanted me to bring them to you. Qin Xiu took a bite, and his eyes lit up. Wow, it's so soft and sweet. Senior sister's baking has gotten way better than it was 2 days ago. Standing behind him, Luo Lin watched as Qin Xiu happily ate, and she couldn't help but smile to herself. I wonder if I'm just imagining things, but lately, the way the young miss cares for him, it's like how a woman cares for her lover. At that thought, she shook her head vigorously. No, that's impossible. That's just ridiculous. She placed a hand on her chest, avoiding his gaze. They're just senior and junior disciples. There's no way they could be in that kind of relationship. As he was eating, Qin Xiu suddenly froze. His eyes were fixed on the pastry in front of him. That's it, he murmured. His words made Luo Lin jump. Is something wrong? Come to think of it, I haven't seen senior sister at all these past 2 days. Luo Lin touched her cheek, flustered, and avoided his gaze. I'm not sure either. She was obviously worried, which is why she baked these herself. And yet, he didn't dare to give it to her himself. It seems like he's deliberately avoiding the young miss. How strange. After a moment's thought, Qin Qiu turned his head. He scratched his cheek. Tell her, please extend my thanks to your senior sister for me. With that, he sat down. He channeled his spiritual energy and resumed practicing the zither. Luo Long was about to leave, but she suddenly remembered something and stopped. She turned back and called out. The alchemy tournament is in 2 days. If there's anything Master Yi needs, just say the word. The Merchant Guild will provide our full support. Hearing this, Qin Qiu nearly choked. The pastry got stuck in his throat, making his eyes water. He glanced behind him, wiping away his sweat. This is a problem, but it's not like there's no way out. If I can just refine a high-quality, second-grade pill, first place would be a sure thing. But right now, no matter how hard I try, I can only make peak-grade ones. He threw his head back, clutching in his hands. He agonized over it. It's so hard to control. The Boundless Pavilion will definitely hunt me down. A 16-year-old who can already refine peak-grade pills. I'm bound to attract attention. An image of 2 men in black dragging him away flashed through his mind. I don't want to go back. I just want to be with. He imagined his hands being chopped off. His mind was in chaos. How do I get weaker? Isn't this the hardest problem of all? Behind him, Luo Lin heard this and asked, stunned, Master, what did you just say? Qin Qiu quickly waved his hands. It's nothing. You can go on ahead, steward. I'm fine. After Luo Lin had walked away, Qin Qiu slowly stood up. His face was grim. He walked over to the alchemy furnace and took out a pill. Looking at it, Qin Qiu froze. His dark eyes stared into its depths. Still peak grade. He turned purple with rage. Clenching his fist, he hissed, I give up. He then carefully placed the pill into a box. Worrying about it won't do any good. I might as well go for a walk and clear my head. Maybe I'll find some new inspiration. With that, Qin Qiu rolled up the technique scroll. He strolled along, tossing it playfully in his hand. I can also look for some medicinal herbs for Fong Fong while I'm at it. The scene shifts to the black market in Luolang City. In the middle of the bustling market, a shifty-looking man appears. His head was slick and bald. As Qin Qiu passed by, he unexpectedly ran into him. Of course, everywhere you go, there's always a black market. Before he could finish the thought, the bald man's hand shot out to attack. Qin Qiu nimbly dodged to the side, causing his opponent's eyes to widen. He looked around in surprise. Qin Qiu ducked low and circled behind the bald man. Qin Qiu put all his strength into a sweeping kick at the man's legs. Then he leaped into the air and stomped directly on his opponent's arm. He spun around, his expression cold. His eyes were sharp. He said, Take me to the biggest merchant guild. The bald man was furious. His face darkened. He glared and roared, Let me go. The moment the words left his mouth, Qin Qiu slammed his heel down harder on his arm. Pain. The man gritted his teeth. A cold sweat broke out on his forehead. If he pushes any harder, my arm will be completely useless. He shuddered. Qin Qiu's face was a dark mask. His voice was menacing. I don't want to repeat myself. The bald man screamed in a panic. Just go straight to that tavern. Then keep going forward from there and you'll see it. Ow, that hurts. Just let me go first. The moment he finished speaking, Qin Qiu pulled her foot away. The bald guy sprang to his feet, reaching behind his back to draw a weapon. A wicked grin spread across his face. He brought the gleaming blade down in a vicious swing. Suddenly, a surge of power slammed into his dantian, his eyes rolling back in terror.